December 31st, 1999. The end of a century. The end of a millennium. The beginning of the end.
He's coming for you, Christine. Can you see him?
Who are you?
How do you know my name?
He's gonna find you, Christine.
Hi there. I'm not you, and this is DarkHour, and he's not me. Welcome, everyone. It's been a while since we've done one of these happy hour streams, and it's good to be back. And who's not going to be pumped up after that late 90s CGI extravaganza that we just saw there? How are you feeling after that? Are you freaked out?
Well, I mean, there's actually more freaky parts in this to me than that one. That's having been on the New York subway plenty of times. That's probably one of the most normal things you'll see on there.
Yeah, a man turned into dust and shattered in front of my eyes. It's just a normal day on the New York subway.
I do like how the trailer version is like he's gonna find you, but it's definitely
They definitely had to change that one.
Yeah. It's weird though, because that character, and I'm obviously jumping way ahead already, but
sure.
That character appears in another scene that isn't him as an illusion. It's like him watching Arnold.
Yeah, and I was always
like
curious.
Weird.
Yeah, what happens to him? Did he just actually turn into dust? Did he just get turned into a figment of our imagination? Who knows? Like, did they have other plans for him and the actor just fucked off? I don't know.
But anyway, albinos.
Like you say, that's jumping ahead a little bit. But yeah, for everyone who's perhaps unfamiliar with these happy hours, we're going to talk about one specific movie tonight and try and break it down a little bit and understand how it works, what was good about it, what was bad about it. And in this case, it is the 1999 horror action extravaganza that is The End of Days. This movie is kind of an interesting one in some ways because it was Arnold's big comeback to movie making. And this is obviously getting into the production side of things, but it's probably as good a place as any to start with this film as in terms of the genesis of it, how it came to be, who was originally going to be in it and all that sort of thing. And it went through various people, but it became like an Arnold Schwarzenegger vehicle. And this was him coming back to making movies after a couple of years hiatus because he had to take some time off to get major heart surgery, actually. And so there's a very clear, I guess, divide in his career, like pre-surgery and then post-surgery Arnold. And they're not necessarily the same person. But this was definitely really the end point of him as a traditional box office draw in the normal sense. He would definitely make movies after this, but this was the attempt to recapture the magic of the 80s and early 90s Arnold. And, well, it didn't necessarily work. I mean,
well, it actually was it was really difficult for them to even get this movie greenlit for multiple reasons, one of which they weren't even sure if Arnold was insurable because of the heart condition. So, and he was going to be doing a lot of running. You know, he was still, for the most part, trying to do a lot of his own stunts when he could. And then they actually sent out insurance agents to watch him do some of the stuff to make sure it would like work for him.
Yes, they actually had producers on set watching him just in case he was showing signs of flagging. So he was like doubly under pressure to perform. That's kind of what this movie was. It was like his way of showing, one, the people of Hollywood, and two, the fan base, you know, and his fan base in particular, that, hey, I've still got it. I can still do this.
Somebody just said in the chat that the one woman, the fat nurse woman that's played by Mary, that he farted in her face.
She alleged that, yeah. In
it's like two down from what, yeah. It's like,
she did. Like, 20 years after making the movie, she alleged that he farted in her face.
The guy just got out of major surgery. Give him a break.
He didn't respond, apparently. But yeah, the genesis of this movie was they were originally going to have Tom Cruise playing the lead role. And he dropped out to do Magnolia instead. They had a different director attached to it. I think Guillermo del Toro was attached to this one for a little while.
Sam Raimi as well. Sam Raimi for a little while. Yeah. Which that would have been a much different movie if it would have been Sam Raimi.
Very much so,
Yeah.
yeah. And obviously they dicked around for a while with various directors, various actors before they eventually settled on Arnold. And they, by that point, it was like 1998. It's like, right, we need to get this thing out. Obviously, by the end of the millennium, it has to come out by the end of '99. Otherwise, we miss the point of it. Like that's all, what it's all predicated on is the turning of the millennium and all the angst that surrounds that. And so they brought in Peter Hyams to direct it, who was a relatively safe hand, or a safe pair of hands as far as they went. He had a reputation for getting movies done on time, and so he was the guy who was chosen to actually direct this thing. And so it had a very tight turnaround in terms of the shooting schedule and then post production. I think they were shooting up till May. Of 1999, and then the movie actually releases in November, so not a lot of time to get all that post-production work done. And this movie's pretty heavy on effects as well, so
yeah, it was one of the reasons why they ended up so I sent the pictures to you in earlier. They had some
I've
really
got them.
good, yeah, they had some really nice looking Stan Winston like practical effects for the devil, and I think they just, yeah, there we go. Oof, that looks so much better than the and it didn't look bad with the CG, don't get me wrong, but that just looks so real and raw, and it's a
way
yeah.
superior.
There was like a whole story about the guy who was in the costume, because they had like a bunch of puppeteers that were moving him around, and he had to, the stuff he had to do. And apparently his like mantra was he couldn't get tired in front of a former Mr. Olympia or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of the the smaller movements were done through animatronics and stuff, but like there was a guy inside it, and I think he had to hold like a crucifix position for potentially hours on end in this extremely heavy costume in order to make it work. And as it turns out, it was all for nothing because it got replaced with some crappy CGI nonsense by the end of the movie.
Because they wanted to make it bigger. They felt it was too small, was their reasoning. I mean, I'm sure there was other things involved, but they wanted it to be more of a spectacle at the end rather than something that was only maybe a foot or two taller than Arnold. They wanted it to be something where his head was like the size of a human being. So
yeah. So I guess before we go into the plot and stuff, like if you were to just give me your high level view of like how do you rate this movie? What was your impression of it? Maybe like when you saw it and then when you've rewatched it for this. Like
I was really young the first time I saw it. I was in like elementary school when I saw it the first time. So I remember just being, I was a huge Arnold fan my whole life. That was my favorite actor growing up. I didn't care that he couldn't really act, but and I loved it back then. Because anything Arnold, it didn't matter what the movie was. But now I look at it through a more critical lens, and I see it as flawed but fun. It definitely had some cool ideas going on. I do often say that one of the things about Arnold's career that is sort of a great irony is he's like a prisoner of his own early success. A lot of the movies seem like downers compared to a lot of his early stuff. Because I mean, he just hit banger after banger for his first 8 years or so in Hollywood. And, it's really hard, but I do think that you can see that he's a little bit better of an actor. He probably took some classes while he was in his hiatus and such. He's clearly moved on from, just being the unstoppable badass. He gets his ass handed to him for the most part throughout this movie. And, I think that it's underrated in the sense that a lot of people hated it at the time. But I think now looking at it in hindsight, you see a lot of the crap that comes out now and you're like, this wasn't that bad. So it's like, like a C+, B-, that range probably.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I think for me, it's definitely like for Arnold's like filmography, this is a thoroughly mid sort of movie. It's in the same category as like Eraser or what Collateral Damage. It's that sort of same level.
He all came out in that pocket too. That like 99 to like 2005 pocket for him was all pretty much the same.
Very much so, yeah. I think my issues with it are the pacing is kind of off in a lot of places. Like it's very like stop start. There's a lot of like revisiting previous scenes and previous places, previous characters. There's not really a sense of urgency like I would have expected with a countdown based story. there's a lot of things that are hinted at that I think are great concepts, but then they're never really like shown on screen. Like the idea of like this mounting unrest throughout the city, like riots, destruction, like people getting possessed by Satan, that people are like the authorities are struggling to deal with. It's mentioned briefly on the radio and stuff, but it's never shown much on screen. It would have been great to see that. That's what I want to see, a city on the edge of like absolute chaos as this thing gets closer. And I think yeah, the creature effects towards the end are really goofy. I think, and I hate to say this because I do like Arnold's generally, I think he's miscast in this one. I think if they'd had Tom Cruise in it, or if they'd had someone, even another action star like, say, Bruce Willis, who had a better acting range and was less physically imposing and less built on his like presence, it would have been a much better suited piece of casting. As it is, like Arnold just feels weirdly out of place here, and I feel like they dump in a lot of the big action set pieces because they almost thought like, well, it's an Arnold movie, so it's got to have like him firing a machine gun and blowing some stuff up. When it's like
when we
the
get to
rest
that,
of
I
the
think
movie,
that's hilarious.
and so what you get is like this movie that's like a little bit of Seven with like the body horror and the real gritty, grimy kind of feel to it. There's like almost like The Omen or Rosemary's Baby with all the satanic like impregnation plot line and the devil and stuff and the religious aspects of it, and like a big dumb Arnold movie that's trying to like lumber its way out of the 1980s into this. All tied up in like late 90s angst about the year 2000 coming along, like, and it's like it's this slight Frankenstein's monster of a film that doesn't quite commit to anything. It's just a little bit of everything all jammed in together, and so the result is it's slightly unsatisfying to watch. It feels like a film that I don't know. It's only 2 hours long. Put it this way, it's only 2 hours long, but it feels longer just because it's quite slow in a lot of places. But as you say, it's got a real late 90s charm to it that films today just absolutely don't have. You know, when I see them, walking the streets of New York, when I see big explosive set pieces and stuff, that's all done with pyrotechnics for the most part. Like a couple of shots that are very obviously composite, but for the most part, it's real. It's pyrotechnics. They're in real locations. It feels physically grounded in reality in a way that modern movies just aren't. And I don't know, I've really missed that. It was like this crazy little throwback to a different era of filmmaking.
Someone just said it in the chat. It was New York, but it was actually LA, and they digitally put New York buildings into it. It was, but the one thing I would say from a production standpoint that they kind of whiffed on, and this was partially due to the director being like, I mean, Arnold likes night scenes, so did James Cameron, who was originally attached to it, and all this stuff. It seems like there was like 40 directors who were attached to this, but some of the scenes, there's definitely some cinematography issues where it's hard to see what's even going on because it's so dark. And I had to rewind it a couple of times and be like, I don't know which character, what just happened there.
You definitely have to watch it in a dark room just to pick it out, or like, have a good setup. I will say as well, from a performance point of view, this is one of the weird things, right? This was one aspect of the film that was better than I remember, where I feel like this is probably the most acting that Arnold attempts in his entire career. Yeah, because this movie requires a lot from him. Like, this is a guy who's contemplating, ending himself. He's stricken with grief. He's filled with rage and vengeance and stuff. He can't really deliver. And like I said before, like a guy like Tom Cruise would have nailed a character like this. Arnold doesn't really have the range for it, but damn, man, he really goes for it at times. Like, he's trying his little heart out.
I think it's really evident as
hastily repaired heart.
Yeah, it's really evident toward the end of the movie where, he's praying in the church and stuff, and you're like, this just doesn't feel natural.
No, it's not at all. This is not what you expect from an Arnold movie, and it's not really what he's used to delivering. And you can tell it's way outside his comfort zone and definitely outside his range as an actor. But he is attempting it, and he does get some decent scenes. Like, I remember the first time you see his character, he puts a gun to his head, and he really looks like he's thinking about doing it. Like, he he can deliver something. I guess what I'm saying here, I think maybe that time off. I don't think he took acting classes or anything, but I think he was willing to take on more challenging roles, and perhaps, who knows, maybe he saw the writing on the wall as like, I can't just be big burly action man anymore because I'm like 50 years old or whatever, and maybe it's time that I try other things, and try and broaden my action range into something that's a bit more experimental or challenging or whatever.
He also, I mean, obviously after any major surgery, especially heart surgery, he deflated. He wasn't even close to the size he was, like when he did I think it was Batman and Robin, I think was in like 1997 or something like that.
He's still pretty big in this.
But compared to what he was a couple years prior to that, then he would go on to bulk back up a little bit for like T3. But you could tell that his time off and probably having to deal with the heart surgery and stuff had diminished his size. I mean, obviously he's bigger than an average person,
sure.
He's like, but you could tell that and that probably was doing a number on his head too, because it's like he had lived on this physical presence for so long. When I've always said there's nothing worse than when your body starts failing and you can't do the things you knew you could do it recently. So I can imagine that he felt the need to expand from that.
Yeah, very much so. Let me just read a couple of super chats that came in while we're discussing this. Yeah, Drinker and DarkHour and Arnie together again. Naturally makes me nostalgic for the LAH. What was that one?
Last Action Hero.
Oh, yeah. The best thing about this film is Gabriel Byrne's Satan, although Pacino outdid him a year later in Devil's Advocate. Happy streaming, gents. Yeah, it feels like they were playing a very similar take on the character, but I like Gabriel Byrne as Satan in this.
He's kind of like a discount Al Pacino. He has the look, kind of, and he does it really well. One thing I noticed, and I said this to a couple people, his mannerisms kind of remind me of what Willem Dafoe would do a couple years later as Green Goblin. It's like the way he like walks and stuff. It was a weird thing, I guess, because I recently watched the first Spider-Man, so I guess it was fresh in my mind. But you can see some of the mannerisms are very similar. It's weird. I know I'm not necessarily saying that they were swapping notes or anything, but
and what's this one? A shout out to the film's soundtrack. It includes the Professional Murder music song "Slow," even before their self-titled album came out in 2001. Quintessential 90s industrial, no matter what year it was released. Yeah, the soundtrack is very of its time for sure. And again, not what you'd expect from an Arnold movie. It's, I don't know, it's weird. It's like running into your dad in a fucking nightclub or something. Then you find out he's trying to bang the same girl as you. Like, fuck off, dude.
Well, that was the thing about a lot of his movies in the mid 90s on, is they were attaching, like, rock bands always just try to attach to him. They did it with Last Action Hero. They did it with a few of them, and he would get these almost exclusive rights to a song. And then also gun companies like to use him to like advertise the guns. They actually do that in this. The Glock 34 he has was like brand new, and they basically put it out. They gave it to him for this movie to be like, here, advertise it for us. So it was like that was kind of what they ended up doing with him a lot at this point in his career.
I guess it would make sense to go through the movie a little bit, like in terms of plot and stuff and what happens. I do have like a kind of summary video that has the main plot points and stuff in it. I'll see if I can bring it up here. I'll put it on mute so it's like we're not like getting audio or anything from it. But yeah, it's it all begins in, what would it be, like 1979, right? That's when we get the flashback to when this girl is born under the prophesized comet in the sky. That means like whatever child is born tonight, one of them is going to be the vessel that's going to bring forth the Antichrist or something. It's never entirely explained. Like,
I having watched it twice in the last 24 hours, it's basically that it will open up the gates of hell, which I'm guessing it is that the consummation of the Antichrist.
Yeah, Hector Salamanca there. Nice to see him.
The whole thing about so it was funny when I was looking it up because I wanted to get the exact name of this. So it's the Curia Council or whatever you want to call it. I found out that the Council of Cardinals wasn't really an official thing until relatively recently, in the last like 15 years or so. It used to just be an unofficial group of the Pope's friends would just kind of hang around.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Well, there he is. Yeah, so he's receiving the news that the child's going to be born today, as you can see. And so the central question in this movie is like, should they kill it in order to save the rest of humanity, or should they try and protect her from Satan, in order to try and redeem her? And I do kind of think, like, I don't know, man, if it was me and the entire fate of the human race was at stake, I'd probably go for the whole death idea. It's like, I would hate to do it, but it's like one life for like 7 billion. It's probably a
They probably could have played around with that a little bit more, in the sense that obviously, killing is a cardinal sin, right? So it's like basically an instant, it's stamping your ticket to hell. And they could have played around with it a little bit, like, oh, is there anybody even willing to do this? Because they're all priests, cardinals, bishops. So, obviously they don't want to go to hell. That's the opposite of what they would like. So, it's there was a plot point there that they could have really played around with that they just didn't.
Yeah. But anyway, the baby is born, and so it gets, because it's got like a specific birthmark on it, it gets whisked away by these Satan worshippers, who then perform a ritual on it, which I don't know what the point of it is. It just looks freaky, but it's like, it seems like the baby's already been chosen since it has the birthmark anyway, but whatever, let's not worry too much about it.
Let's feed it some snake blood.
Yeah, sure.
This dude, it took me a while to realize who this guy was, because after a little while, I realized he was in Blade. That's where I know him from.
Yes, that is, oh Christ, what's his name?
I had his name written
German
down.
actor.
Where is it? I had it written down here. Udo Kier.
Udo Kier, yes.
Very
well-known German actor. There's something about his eyes that's like really freaky or really distinct. I don't know if it's just like they're really like intense.
Yeah, he was also in Ace Ventura. But yeah, he was originally the guy that they were trying to have play the devil, but then they realized they were going to have two German accents going up against each other, and well, one's an Austrian accent, but you know what I mean. They were gonna, and they were like, that's just too much German.
Yeah, it is funny that like this. I suppose this is a point I can bring up now, right? All of this takes place in New York City, or LA masquerading as New York, but like, you'd think something as biblical as this would take place in, I don't know, like the Middle East, the Holy Land, maybe Israel, Palestine, Egypt, somewhere like that. It's like, nah, it's just New York. Fuck it.
Everything happens in New York. Come on.
Yeah, was it prophesied in the Bible? Like, the Antichrist shalt be born in the city of New York. Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, let's just go with it. Fuck it.
They try to play it off too. They're like, it has nothing to do with the time or the place. It was decided by the Gregorian calendar was backwards from this, and
this is a gorgeous example of what I call lamp shading, or that's not what I call it. That's what it is. Where it's like you've called out a massive inconsistency in your own plot, and then you just wave it away with like one line of dialogue, or just don't even like deal with it at all. It's like,
that was pretty common back then.
Yeah.
It's actually more common now. They do it more now. Or sometimes they don't even bother. Sometimes they're just like, who cares? No one's gonna question
most of the time now they haven't even thought of it. But yeah, this is now we skip forward to the present day. For some reason, there's just major gas leaks and stuff happening in New York, and then stuff starts exploding. I don't know. A lot of things explode in this movie for no reason. Now, I love a good explosion, especially when it's practical effects. But a lot of stuff just blows up for no particular reason. When Gabriel Byrne gets possessed by the devil, he walks out of the restaurant just explodes behind him. Why? I don't know. It just does.
Go ahead, drinker. Don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah. Why? Don't know.
That was actually one of the things I wanted to I wanted to question.
It's kind of funny when he does this shit.
Yeah. Well, can you imagine if someone else was in the bathroom while this was going on? Because they can't see the devil. It's just a guy who
poor guy taking a shit in one of the stalls. What the fuck is going on out there?
It's like the scene in Austin Powers. It's like, who does number 2 work for? Like that scene. But I just, yeah, it does. So the first one, it kind of makes sense because they were having the gas leaks, and it's, okay, so that triggers something. This, there's not even a reason. It just blows up. And I wish that they would have at least shown him maybe go into the kitchen and turn off the pilot light or something.
Yeah,
it's a cool looking scene because he blows up and they do that whole T-1000 walkout that he does. It's really cool looking. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's as people point out, cool guys do not look at explosions. I do like how he comes out of the bathroom, just grabs this woman's tit and immediately starts necking on with her, and then, like
the husband is like, "What the fuck?" and he just shoots him like the stink eye,
the look,
like,
the Satan look, and he's like, "All right, you just carry on, bro." Then boom,
there it is. It's definitely, there's some references you could say are in this to other Arnold movies. Like, obviously, it could be references to anything, or they just want to do it because it was cool. But that's very similar to what the T-1000 does in T2 when he walks out of the fire, and it's very similar. There's some direct references too, but
I will say as well, the fire effects actually look pretty good here. Like, because fire is a difficult thing to render in CG, especially back in the 90s. So this looks okay, the way he walks out of it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, well, part of that was definitely realistic, like, real stuff that they were using, but that specific one was definitely CG, obviously. I think it was a real they just kind of put him in there with After Effects, it looked like.
Yeah. And this is one of the scenes I was referencing where it's like Arnold, the first time we see his character, he's thinking about ending it. I love how his name is Jericho Kane as well.
Yeah.
His name might as well be like Jesus McReligion Man.
Well, what is it? Udo Kier's character is named Dr. Abel. They didn't do a lot of work here to try and hide what they were doing. Christine York, Christ in York. They didn't really. They were very on the nose. It was.
Yeah.
I was saying, I feel like this is how you start off most of your mornings too, with a smoothie consisting of whatever liquor you had.
Oh,
the previous
that
night.
scene. That scene is glorious. Arnold was like, yeah, because he talked about this and he was like, yeah, I did drink that. Because as a bodybuilder, I was used to drinking all kinds of ridiculous protein shakes and stuff. So you like a good like Tatiana on a Saturday night, you learn to just relax the jaw and open wide and just let it all slide down, I guess.
Oh, I don't know how to follow that one up.
But yeah, so the idea is these guys, they work for a private security company. They have been hired to escort like some rich Wall Street banker who turns out to be Gabriel Byrne.
They don't actually name the banker.
I know, it's weird. Like, it feels like that guy's history should be relevant somehow. Like, there was a reason he was chosen to be the host for the Devil. Like, presumably it wasn't just random. But like the script gives us nothing about the guy that would give us any sort of hint about who he was or any connections he might have to this stuff. It's just a guy, I guess.
Literally, the character's name is the Man. That's so it's.
It did kind of make me wonder as well, like, why is he just going about his day-to-day business as if he's still like banker man? Like, surely he's got more important things to do now that he's Satan.
Actually, I didn't even think of that one. Yeah, why would he even bother with going to his job?
Yeah, clearly he doesn't need to be going there. He's got more important things to do now. But yeah, so they get attacked by a crazy guy who's going to take pot shots
by another lazily named character, Priest Thomas Aquinas. Very on the nose. They just kept they're just like, let's just name people after saints and biblical references.
Yeah, chat's got a good point here. Bankers are pure evil. That's a pretty good point, actually.
Well, they do mention that because it's basically he's like, why would a banker need this much, protection? And it's like, he probably fucked with the wrong person. And it's like, a banker could easily really screw a person over that has enough money to put a head out on them. So it makes sense that he could afford this kind of protection.
Yeah, there you go. Like, because of course it's a Wall Street guy. This was years before Occupy Wall Street, by the way. Just pointing that out.
This movie does a really good job of basically saying like Wall Street and the New York City NYPD is all Satan worshipers or Satan themselves. It seems like every single one you encounter in this movie is on that side.
They get possessed by it eventually, yeah. Not initially, but like again, I'm not sure how this possession thing works and how it spreads and stuff. That's something the movie really could have done with delving into a bit more. But yeah, so he's under attack. He gets hit. Obviously it's just a fake out. He's fine. They do that thing a lot in movies at that time period. Like, hey, you're wearing a bulletproof vest, huh? What a novel concept.
Yeah, like really, this would be something that maybe we could have fell for toward the end of the movie, but at the beginning, no. In the first 10 minutes of the movie, no. You're not going to assume that they're going to kill off Arnold at that time.
Yeah, would have been the greatest fake out ever. Like when they killed Steven Seagal on Executive Decision.
One thing I do like is that they do show later he takes off the bulletproof vest and he has the bruising. That's something that a lot of times in movies they don't show, that you still get hit with all the force. It just doesn't go through. You know, it's so I like that they show that. That's something I wish they would do more.
This is a cool stunt. It looks goofy as fuck when you actually think about the logistics of it and what he's doing, but it was probably dangerous as fuck to actually do. But yeah, the guy's trying to make a run for it. I think he's going to throw himself off the rooftop. That's what he does. Like he runs right to the edge and throws himself off. I'm not sure why he chooses to run the entire length of the roof when there's another bit that's just right next to him. It's fine. It's just like banker man going to his job when he's possessed by Satan. Just don't think about it too much.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the stuff early on was just set up to get to the cool bits. That I feel like probably at the first 15 minutes, just a lot of it doesn't make sense when you think about it. When you put it to the smell test, so to say.
But yeah, for like what's basically just a private security company, he has got access to some serious fucking resources. He can just walk into his base of operations and requisition like machine guns, grenade launchers.
Doesn't have to sign them out. I noticed that on my second viewing.
Yeah, they got a chopper that's just on standby. He's got like a harness gear and everything just wired up, ready to go. It's great, man. These guys have got everything.
Yeah, it's funny because at this point, I'm not really sure exactly. I guess he was going to jump off the roof to not speak, even though he cut off his tongue. We'll find that out shortly. But then he's in the hospital and he clearly doesn't want to die, but he doesn't want to live. This character is very confusing to me only because I'm not really sure why they made some of the decisions that they did. So they cut out his tongue and then he speaks just so they could say he cut out his tongue.
There's a lot of stuff here that I can only file under. Wouldn't it be cool if this happened? You know, and that's like the dude on the subway who's just like this really freaky guy who, as we saw in the trailer, he's talking to Christine and then she touches him and then he just collapses into nothing and falls apart, and then it's just all vision. But he's actually a real guy as well, because you see him walking down the street. He's like a homeless guy. And it's
like just right before this scene for the I think, right? Like literally right before this scene, he was there.
And so it's like, well, what is he? I don't know. You're not supposed to think about it too much. It's just a cool visual when you see it. Like, okay, I guess, sure.
But
yeah, like this is what I mean, right? So the movie does a lot of stuff like this, where you've had this big set piece moment. Guy's been captured. He's fallen through a roof and landed like on the ground. It probably, in the normal scheme of things, it would have made sense for Arnold to just capture him there. But then we get this additional sequence where he now goes down into the subway in order to like encounter again. But it just adds more runtime to the movie. But it doesn't really accomplish anything more plot-wise. And it's slow when it doesn't need to be. We've already had our big set piece moment.
This is a great shot for what I'm talking about with the lighting too. I mean, obviously we know who this character is because we watched him run down here, but that's not particularly great lighting for that scene. You know, you could still have his whole face shown and the aura of the darkness still be there. And I'm not sure exactly why they chose, because there's other instances of this happening where you just can't see the full face, which sometimes can hurt the scene because you're not seeing this one. Obviously, he's, you know, screaming, so but like you don't really get you're losing half of the emotional portion of the scene.
Yeah. Well, that's a good example as well.
Right there, yeah, there you go.
Super fucking dark.
So somebody just said that they disagreed. I just think that sometimes it you should be able to see the person's face a little bit better. It's obviously there's certain scenes that it works for, but if someone's speaking, you should really be able to see, unless you're trying to obscure who they are, then I think you should be able to see their reactions on their face.
So he takes him out before he can pull the trigger. Yeah, this is where the guy's got nothing on him, basically, has he?
It's like, why even bother carrying that wallet?
I know, it's an empty wallet. It's like, okay, they've got to do like a little bit of investigation work, I guess. They always have something though, don't they? Like, oh look,
a priest who drinks.
Place. Yep, name of a place and the address. That was lucky. Lucky he kept that with him.
Yeah, Matchbox. And that's actually a pretty common thing in real life, not in movies. It's pretty common that priests get in. They hit the sauce quite often. It's actually part of their job almost.
All that communion wine, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
I'm not even sure what part we're at this point.
Well, yeah. Sorry. I was trying to compile a lot of footage together. I think I might have skipped. So yeah, like they're in the subway. I think this is where you encounter like the New York police lady who's like the head detective on this case. Like,
oh yeah, it's what the hell's her name? It's like
CCH Pounder, which is a great name. I like the actress.
I wonder what it's short for. Actually, let me look. I'll look it up. What is that short for? It's got to be short for something.
So her real name is Carol Christine Hilaria Pounder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She was like Viola Davis of her day.
Yeah, she does a pretty good job. So obviously, spoiler alert, she's not a good cop, but they do a pretty good job of disguising that. I will say this for her. She doesn't seem like she's obviously, blocking them from learning things. It's very much a
she must have known what she was doing when she chose that. Like, I know that's kind of her legal name, but you can take a new showbiz name when you get into the business.
Well, what is it? Kevin Pounder character tries to pound her later. There's a whole scene where he's like, "You want to jump in this tub after they get rid of all the blood and evidence?" It's like,
yeah. It's like nothing gets a girl in the mood like a fucking murder scene.
What? I forgot what I was. Oh, she blocks a lot of their stuff, but in what you might call like lawful evil ways. It's like, oh, we're doing our investigation. We're trying not to. Please don't interrupt. But you don't ever get the sense that she's doing it maliciously. But then later on, it turns out that she's one of the Satan worshippers.
Yeah, and again, I was always confused about whether she was evil the whole time or whether this kind of took her over, like it possessed a lot of other people, and like that's how it happens. Like in the course of the movie, she starts out good and then she gets taken over by this thing and she's now just possessed. Like, I don't think it's made entirely clear.
I think it's really implied that a lot of the police are in there, because there's the one scene where he goes to the hospital and the obviously they have the on-duty cop who's sitting there making sure no one gets, because it's a person who's in an active investigation, and then he goes, "Remember who you serve," which kind of implies that there's this larger thing going on. But it could be possessions. They don't. The only thing I would argue against possessions is it seems for him to possess somebody in this movie, he needs to physically go into their body and be them, as opposed to
I don't mean
summoning other demons or something.
Sure, I guess I don't mean possessed in the same way that Gabriel Byrne's character is possessed. I mean more just influence them, turn them to his side, like make them just minions who serve him rather than like he's directly in control of them.
Makes sense.
But yeah, like I think the chat's a little bit split on this one, so I'm not sure. But
put up a poll. Let them decide. Let
Was
them decide what
Pounder
this movie means.
was Pounder getting pounded by Satan, or was she just doing her own thing? But yeah, this is where the movie really feels like I'm watching a scene from Seven, like
Agreed.
a really dingy apartment with loads of horrible shit like scrawled on the walls, like a severed tongue in a jar. This is Seven right here. This is Arnold's take on Seven. There's the shears he used. I don't know why he's got this thing, but wow, wasn't that a lucky?
There's a stop right there.
Arnold,
Wow.
do a surprised face. What?
Oh,
Oh shit!
I can't even say it. It'll be like in the refrigerator.
Yeah,
It's a kitty. I actually,
always after
rewatching
that
this
pussy, huh?
rewatching this movie made me realize why his accent is so weird. He's the equivalent, the German equivalency. I know that it's been said that he's like a German hillbilly, you know, obviously Austria. It's like the Bostonian accent. He doesn't pronounce his R's. I finally like realized that today when I was rewatching it. I was like, he just skips his R's. Like you think about how he pronounces California. It's California. Yeah, he does it. Yeah,
Sure.
so I just noticed that. It was one thing that I noticed. And
but yeah, it was sure lucky that this priest happened to keep the photo of the girl that he's looking for in a jar in his fridge for some reason, because that's what keeps the pictures fresh. Don't you know?
Yes, he is Austrian, but it's very similar accent for the most part. They speak German in Austria. Austria is like the original Germany.
The original Germany. Yeah.
If you think about it, like historically, it is.
We've got Robin Tunney here, who's our girl, who's the key to everything. There she is, when she was born.
There was a few people who were also considered, and I think you would have liked a few more of them. A couple of the others, I looked it up. It was Liv Tyler, Jennifer Connelly, and Kate Winslet were also in the running.
I read about that. Yeah, Robin Tunney's fine in the role. I think she does her best with what she's given. She doesn't get to do a whole lot, but you know, I don't see any of those actresses doing any better with this role.
Austria predates Prussia. Whoever said that, Austria predates Prussia.
Wasn't Austria and Hungary?
Hungary, yeah.
Yeah, they were like an empire of their own.
I'm sorry if I offended any Germans out there. I'm just saying it was like the original unified German-speaking state. Then there was a bunch of smaller ones, and then they were like, we're an empire. We're all of us listen to one person.
I think, yeah, this is a good point. Jennifer Connelly would have probably killed this one.
There is the scene where she goes to take a shower, which would have been much better with Jennifer Connelly. So,
I mean, she's not bad, by the way. It's absolutely pointless nudity, but I'm not objecting to it in the slightest. It's fine. So I think you're led to surmise from this, like her birth mother died, 1983? So like maybe 4 years after she was born. I'm presuming she was murdered by the cult people so the other lady could come in and take over. It's never really explained. It's just like, yeah, her mom just died, I guess.
This is my like level of, autism that I have when it comes to these kind of things. I went and I looked up all of these dates to see if they had any relevance to Arnold's career, and none of them did. I was like, damn. Because sometimes they'll slip stuff. Well, sometimes they'll slip that kind of stuff in. They'll put a date on anything, whether it be a headstone like this or something else in a news report or something, and it'll have a relevance to the person. And unfortunately, none of these mattered. Because I saw the 84 and I was like, oh, maybe there's something there.
Yeah.
But
I do like as well, like how they just put on the graves, father, mother, just in case you're in any doubt about their relationship to this main character. So I think you're led to surmise like her mother died in 83, and then other lady came in and became the stepmother, and then bumped off the father like a year later. I guess that's the only thing I can get from this. And she doesn't think that there's anything slightly off about that, but hey, I guess she's
Really,
pretty retarded.
I really steered the chat. Everyone's talking about Austria and Germany now. Look, if it helps anybody out there, I'm of Austrian, German, and Hungarian descent. So if it helps anybody not be upset about that.
What about Australia?
I'm not Australian. No, I'm not Australian.
All right, let's carry on here.
Just zoom in. They definitely are trying to be very on the nose with this. Like, you better not know who these people are.
Sure. I mean, yeah, she's got to go pay respects, and it's like, yeah, both of her parents are dead. Everyone, this is an important piece of information you need to know about the character. So you got
part you were mentioning,
freaky fucking albino guy. I don't know, like the casting department on this one. Give them a round of applause, everyone, because they fucking nailed it with this guy. He looks terrifying.
I don't even know who this. I've never seen this guy in any. I feel like I need to look up who he is. Albino from End of Days.
He must have been in other things.
Victor Venardo.
He's got such a distinctive look about him. I feel like he would be in demand for just like, hey, we need a freaky serial killer looking guy.
Let's see.
Some people are saying he was in Pluto Nash.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe that's not something that I would know off the top of my head.
He looks like a deranged real life version of Bart Simpson. Yeah, just a regular New Yorker on the subway.
I mean, I know you've been to New York a few times, Drinker. Did you actually go on the subway, or did you avoid that mess?
No, I did, but it was only in the daytime. And I can say I was a bit.
That doesn't matter.
Like so the stations were like, I didn't want to touch a single fucking surface. It looked like someone had probably puked or died or cummed on them. So none of that. But like, I had no trouble or anything. Like riding the subway was fine.
The biggest problem with the subway is knowing where you have to transfer to get, because the subway is three different. What they did was three different train routes.
It's fine. Like, I've done the London Underground, and it's the same deal. Like, sometimes you have to switch lines and stuff, and it's pretty easy when you get the subway map up. Like, it's pretty intuitive. But I kept it simple. Like, most of the time, it was just I'd gone up to like Central Park North, like, so I was on the upper east side, say, and then I just needed to go back down to I don't know, like lower fucking east. So it was just a straight shot down.
Yeah, the biggest issue is if you happen to miss your transfer, sometimes you got to go back around again. Very rarely, because there's usually another one, you just come back the other way. But
they run like every 5 minutes or something, so they're pretty regular.
Sometimes you get that. It's honestly like it's one of the more easy ones to navigate, because I've been to Boston, and theirs is annoying. So, but everything, even the roads in Boston are like, what did you do? Did you just drop spaghetti onto a plate and go, this is our road structure?
Yeah, but like when I was there, it was just like, it was the middle of the day, so it was pretty quiet. Like, I probably, like, riding it late at night probably is an interesting experience.
It's not so pretty much the Rudy Giuliani era really cleaned up New York. It was worse before him. Obviously, it's probably going reverse now. I don't go to New York that often anymore, but it was bad in the 80s. It was, which is kind of what I feel like they're trying to elicit here in this scene, and like the whole of New York at this point.
Yeah. But yeah, there he is, just hanging out. And yeah, it's quite a nice, uncomfortable scene. It does a pretty good job of just building that weird tension of like, what the fuck's even going to happen here? What's he going to want? I didn't expect it. I remember watching this at the time when she touches him and he just fucking shatters. It's like, okay, I didn't see that one coming.
I do love how I wish that this was actually happening and no one was reacting. I feel like that would be better than what we actually get, which is this is all in her head for the most part.
Yeah. It's some slightly dodgy late 90s CGI at play there as well. I can forgive it. It's fine. But yeah, you can see it compared to modern movies. It does stand out quite a bit.
He keeps talking.
It's pretty rough.
I wish that this character would have been in more. of the movie.
Yeah, he's pretty freaky. That dude could have played Satan. He would have been more interesting than Gabriel Byrne, you know?
I think Gabriel Byrne's the performance is really good, at least until he gets a little cartoony toward the end. You know, when they start peeling parts of his face off and shit, but
yeah, it's better than Buffy effects. I mean, sure, yeah, but like Buffy was like
this had $160 million budget.
Yeah, this was
in
not
1998, you know, when they were physically making the movie. So that was pretty big budget for that time.
Yeah. I love how she lives in a gigantic mansion in New York as well.
So yeah, some of those still do exist. They, you know, I can only imagine how much money you have to own one of those.
Yeah,
just to have a little shitbox, you know, 5x5 is thousands of dollars a month.
Oh shit, yeah. But yeah, there's Udo Kier doing his thing,
just being all German and stuff.
He does get like a pretty abrupt exit from this movie.
That's another one of those like maybe references because he punches through his head, which is kind of similar to the way the T-1000 catches the hand in T2. It's like you could argue maybe.
I think that's tenuous. I think
you could argue it maybe. It's not the best reference. I mean, there's like a legitimate reference to what is it? Usual Suspects in this because both Gabriel Byrne and Kevin Pollak were in it, and there's the line about the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was making people believe he doesn't exist, and they use it in both of those movies.
Yeah,
with this.
Yeah, so Arnold's kind of following up leads here, and it's funny because he talks to Rod Steiger, who's the priest of this church, right? And he's basically told like, no, fuck off, we can't help you here, just leave. And then he goes downstairs, doesn't lock the door, doesn't check that Arnold's left or anything, and then just allows Arnold to walk down into this like underground fucking command center where they've got like a prophet or an oracle or whatever.
It was just,
like, are you not worried about what this guy's gonna see?
It was just a random woman from Poland, basically got a stigmata, is what they say.
Yeah,
which I mean, if you're gonna pick a country to randomly have a Catholic moment, Poland's probably one of them.
Poland's pretty strong in that shit. Yeah,
pretty solid choice.
Isn't this a reference to the prophet lady who's like she's blind and she says all kinds of crazy shit? And I think she's from Poland as well. Like chat can maybe help me out here, but she's this woman here seems to be very closely modeled on her.
They get this, so they put the stigmata right through the hands, but like it's been pretty much proven it would have been here. So
yeah, well, I love this as well. Yeah, imagine where is it? Yeah, imagine exchanging all those tiny lamps for one bright ceiling lamp. No. 90% of movies, man, is just fucking lighting. I'm telling you, that's all it is. It's like to make any room look cinematic, you just have to have spotlights on everything, and it's all has to be very like confined and atmospheric, so it looks very dramatic. That's all it is. Like most of the time when you're setting up movie scenes, you're waiting for the lighting technicians to get all the lighting sorted out.
I mean,
that's what most of the
I
delays
can
are.
speak just from this room, having tried because every single different platform we all use has different lighting on my screen. It takes me like 15 minutes just to set up my two lamps to not look completely washed out.
That's it.
And I don't even do a good job at that. I still look pretty washed out. So
yeah. That's the thing, like we're employing the same principles in what we do. It's just we're doing it on a much more like retarded level. But it's the same idea. Like we have to like get the lighting to look a certain way in order that we don't look either like we're dying of cancer or that we're in shadow and we look like we're completely sinister monster people. So it's not an easy thing to set up, but you know, that's what you have to do times 1,000 on a movie to make it look right.
I worked in the production industry, mostly live events, not much on the TV side for a long time. And lighting technicians they're a completely different breed of people. Like, you know, you have your projectionists, you have your sound people, but like lighting is almost every major production company. If you go into their warehouses and it's half lighting. So
that's what your grip department is. It's 90% lighting technicians.
Yeah. They have they're just, and they stick together, man. They will fight to the death for each other. I was in LED, you know, LED and projection. That was my specialty. and that's a little bit easier than lighting, because it's obviously you can crank up the brightness of a projector if it's too low and you're aiming it at the wrong place. But
you're white, sir. You're always pale as hell.
I am pretty pale.
I can get surprisingly like sunburned slash kind of tanned in the summertime, but yeah, not right now. It's January in Scotland. Okay, I can only do so much.
You can't even go outside right now. It's just a snowy mess.
It's pretty much, yeah. Yeah, so this is our prophet lady who's, Arnold's not meant to see any of this clearly, but like he sees it and then he's allowed to leave, which again, it's like you've seen some pretty incriminating stuff, and they don't have any guarantee that he's not just going to immediately report all of this to the police. But they just allow him to go, which again is just, it's one of those things that bugs me about this movie a little bit, where the situations and characters and subplots are just kind of put on pause while the rest of the plot happens, and then it gets revisited again later, which just drags out the pacing and drags out the runtime a little bit. And I feel like there's probably a more efficient way to do a lot of this stuff.
I mean, whenever you have a movie and like you have to pause a plot, I feel like there's a way to weave it in. We saw a lot of issues anytime. So what was it? Most recently, obviously, everybody talked about Stranger Things for a while, but that happened a lot in that. It happens a lot in the more plot lines you add, obviously, it's harder to weave together. And I do feel like maybe if they would have just removed one of the plot, like maybe like removed some of the cops that are part of the overall satanic thing, it could have flowed a little bit better. Maybe just have one rather than, like the entire city seems to be in on it.
Yes. I think this is where they discover like Priest Man, who's been like Gabriel Byrne has got to him. I keep calling him Gabriel Byrne because his character doesn't have a name. I'll just call him Satan. Fuck it.
Yeah, at this point he's Satan, so
yeah, sure. So he's gotten to him, and it's weird because like again he's tortured him and stuff. Like they wanted to do 7 again. Someone's been like horribly tortured or whatever, but he left him alive, which doesn't even make sense.
I do love the line. I think it's the cop that let them in. He's like, maybe he put himself up there.
Yeah. And Arnold's like, what the fuck? Like he scalpeled his hands to the ceiling, both of them. Like how? I do like the line from Arnold's buddy. I never remember the character's name, but he's just like,
Bobby.
Well, it's official. I'm never sleeping again, like ever.
Some people are asking in the chat about the incest sex scene. I don't think we can show that. Like I think that's the problem.
Yeah, I'm not even sure how much of this I should be showing here, but like,
yeah, I mean, the doctor randomly speaks Latin, by the way. And like I understand that there's some Latin terms.
All doctors can speak Latin. That's a well-known fact. DarkHour. Clearly, it's not done for plot convenience at all.
But I mean, I guess that was to go back to the incest weird merger scene real quick.
Yeah, which I definitely can't show here.
Yeah, we can't show that scene. That's the scene. So I said earlier that there's some creepy. That one has always bothered me my whole life, and I don't know why that one has bothered me.
What, like it disturbed you, or you were just like,
it was just weird.
Because I don't know why it's there.
Yeah, it's like, why is this a thing? Why are you merging to? Is it a dream? Did it really happen? What's going on?
I assumed it was a dream, right? Because then Christine wakes up and she's screaming and stuff. I think it's just her seeing it, right? Because her whole life she's been seeing visions of Satan, right? Mm-hmm. And so it makes sense that she would see a vision of this. Did it really happen? Probably not, as the way you're seeing it there. I think it was just, hey, wouldn't it be a weird, freaky visual that we could put in? And then maybe someone said, well, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why would that happen? Like, we'll just say that it's a dream instead.
Gabriel Byrne was like, hey, look, can we get a scene where I just, can
I just bang 2 hot girls?
Yeah, I just bang this mother-daughter combo.
This is what I mean. Like, there's some really pointless, gratuitous nudity in it. I fully approve of it. I am just, like, baffled as to why it's there, but fuck it. Let's just go with it.
Crybaby 82 drinks both tequila or whiskey. Drinks either tequila or whiskey while watching this movie. Well, luckily for you, both are being consumed right now.
Yeah. Wait a minute. You've got tequila. I've got whiskey. So Yeah,
Brand new bottle.
perfect. We've got you covered, bro.
I was as a full liter. I went in. I was like, I don't want a large farva. I want a goddamn liter of tequila.
I got that reference. What a goddamn liter of cola. Hey, has this burger got spit in it? Yes. Fuck it.
Switch the bottles. Like, if we could figure out how to do that, just like hand them through the.
Yeah, sure. Take it. Take the bottle. Yeah,
I don't even remember where we are.
So
yes, he's not dead.
This guy's got Christine York carved into his chest, which is super convenient. Barely an inconvenience, in fact. It's now they know exactly who they're looking for.
Yeah, and so actually, I think at first they're like, oh, it says Christ in New York, and it's like it doesn't say new at all. It's like, there's no W there.
Christine York.
Yeah.
It's just and then he has the crazy idea of like, how about if I just do a search for Christine York on database?
Yeah, like people. They just have access to.
It's Google before Google was really a thing. Yeah. And it leads them right to where they need to go, which is super convenient.
Yeah, barely an inconvenience. Like you said, that was one thing, and that was pretty common in 90s movies where they would just move a plot. They would just be like, we have a system where we can look this up. And they would just move on really quickly. I don't like that it was a trope, but it was a trope of the era.
This is the problem, right? This is where like the dumb Arnold 1980s action movie like merges into police investigation, dark horror thriller, right? Where if this was a more intelligent plot, it would require like much more policing, much more thought, and much more piecing together of clues. But it's like they need to just get things moving in order for them to have like another big action set piece or whatever. And so it's like the two things don't merge together very well. You know, this is the kind of stringing together of just clues that leads you to a very obvious next objective that you would get in something like Commando, where, you know, Matrix like kills a guy and then finds a fucking, key ring that he's got that's got like the address of the next place he needs to go. That's probably not what you want here, because you're going for a much more serious, grounded, realistic tone. So but that's what they're going with.
The late 90s, like 97, 8 to 9, right before the turn of the century, that was super. That was an era where they were kind of transitioning away from that, but they would still had these remnants of those hyper convenient moments. And I feel like this was probably, obviously this movie came out in November of 99. It was probably one of the last movies that really did that. And unfortunately, that was, like you said, it was an 80s trope. It was just move forward, kill the next guy, which didn't work as well at this point. People were this was, if I recall correctly, this was not too long after Matrix came out. People wanted more explanation of why we were moving the plot forward. Unfortunately, that was the transition period. Like I always say, Matrix kind of was the thing that flipped the script on action movies. If you think about it, like everything after it needed to have more depth to it than just random killing.
To a degree, yeah. I mean, what the Wachowskis produced with The Matrix was something kind of unique, but then everyone tried to copy it. It spawned a million imitators. Some tried to imitate the action style, like the bullet time and all that sort of thing, the kung fu. Others tried to get the overly elaborate, like dialogue, that sort of thing. But
that's more what I'm talking about. Is the more that everything has to have a point, and you can see the transition going from the big muscular kill everything, it doesn't matter characters to the more in-depth character. You can see that.
Yeah. It's funny. He almost looks like a mash of Arnold and Hugh Jackman's face there.
A little bit, yeah.
I will say, like, Arnold. He looks pretty good in this movie. He actually looks younger here than he does in, say, Collateral Damage, which is just a couple of years later. He noticeably ages between those two movies. But here, he looks like 90s Arnold. Still
Well,
very much.
the very next movie he did was Sixth Day after this, which
He's he's definitely older looking in that as well.
yeah. I always said it's kind of funny. So obviously you have, you know, Arnold versus Terminators, Predators, all these things, and they were like Arnold versus the Devil. Who could top that? Arnold versus himself. There we go.
Yeah,
that's the best we can do.
I mean, yeah, other actors have done that. Van Damme's done that like 3 or 4 times at this point. It's like it's
all of these action stars have to fight themselves at some point.
Yeah, Stallone never did it. Interestingly enough,
it would have been a boxing match. That's what it would have been. It would have been
Rocky versus Rocky. Yeah, this is a good point. It could be a scene with the priest strung from the ceiling. Also a reference to Exorcist 3. Yeah, that's when he's like fused into the ceiling. He has to like tear himself off it. I don't
really remember Exorcist 3. I remember obviously The Exorcist. I remember that one very well. I remember the second one. I don't remember the third one that well.
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of Event Horizon. There's a scene where a character there gets like gutted and eviscerated, and like he's like strung from the ceiling, and so all of his entrails are like hanging down, and they've fallen onto like the operating table underneath him. That kind of reminds me of that, and that was like 2 years before this movie, so it could have been maybe a reference to it or an influence. Not sure. Anyway, I'll allow it to go on. Yeah, that's where he's like, "Yep, it's official. I'm never sleeping again."
It was a pretty standard thing for them to put Arnold right there. That's what I'm talking about, like the lighting, where you couldn't see Kevin Pollak's face at all when he said the line of like, "That's official. I'm never sleeping again." Like, you can't right there.
Yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. Like those moments. Yes, the darkness of the movie makes sense. It's you know, the devil and all this stuff. It makes sense, but there's certain cinematography issues because that's exactly where he says that line, and you don't get to see his face, which is probably a mistake for that particular line.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if they were going for a more naturalistic style of lighting with this one, but yeah, I did love that scene actually when the skateboarder bumps into him.
He was going to get hit by that bus no matter what, by the way.
Well, I did love it how I don't know, like little things like that this movie does really well, where he just like he fucks with this guy and then he's just like, "Hey kid." And it just somehow gets his attention from halfway across a busy New York street, and then boom, he just gets by.
This is kind of like the equivalency to like Want Some Candy moment from Predator 2.
A little bit, yeah. It's like, just I love that the devil's got this plan to like take over the entire planet Earth and just unleash hell on everyone, but he still takes the time to fuck with individual people like this that just pissed him off. It's like, yes. It's on brand. I like it.
Yeah, he does do that quite a bit in this, and it makes sense for Satan because he wants more souls to go to hell, even though he's trying to, you know, he's going to unleash his army.
It seems like he would be petty that way, you know. If I was Satan, I'd be like that. It's like I'm gonna mess with individual people, and yeah, Robin Tunney, very bouncy here. Got to respect it.
She was at this point, this was still like super early in her career. So she was, you know, not like we said earlier, like Liv Tyler probably would have nailed this role. But I actually kind of like the fact that I wouldn't say she's an unknown because she was obviously in some stuff people knew. But I do like the whole aspect of not being a big name for this particular role. It kind of creates this. Yeah, I think it creates this like every woman just happened to get picked for this terrible thing feel.
Yeah. No, I think that it works fine. And I think, as I said earlier, I think she delivers as much as she can, you know, for the character. I think she does what the script requires her to do. I think she's okay. You know, the problem I think the script has, and again, this is down to a casting issue, is there's like probably a 20-year age gap between her and Arnold, at least, probably more actually. And so there can't really be a romantic sort of connection between them. Whereas if you had someone like Tom Cruise, who was considerably younger at this point, maybe you could have done that. And that would have added an extra dimension to their relationship. But as it stands, it's just this slightly awkward. They're not romantically attached, but they're also, it's not like a father-daughter thing either. It's just this weird in-between the movie can't really figure out what it wants to do with them.
Well, at this point, what would he have been, like 52 or 3 at this point in his life? He's born in like 47, so who knows like exactly when
so it's probably more like a 30-year age gap between them. Yeah. Whereas like Tom Cruise at this point would have been 40-ish. So
yeah, because he's about 10 years younger, right?
Yeah, more than 10. I think maybe 15 years younger than Arnold. So
it's hard to tell. He doesn't age the same rate.
Sure, yeah. But yeah, this is where like it's lucky they happen to show up at this exact time when all this is going on. But yeah, okay. So yeah, get another shootout here. It's fine for what it is. It's nothing spectacular, but it works.
I like the concept of Vatican assassins, by the way. Like,
yeah,
I feel like there was just more that could have been done with them. It just seems like they're like, oh, we're here to kill you, and then we're going to. But
we have to do it. We have to do it in a nice way. We have to give you the last rites and stuff. It's like, come on, man! It's like the fate of the human race at stake here. Can you just knife her and move on with your day?
Also, the what was it? The guy who they kill in the tub, that happens very quickly in this story. He goes downstairs and he says something along the lines of like, you need to go get ready for lunch, and then next scene he's dead.
I never really got that, because it's like, did they kill him and then run a bath and then put him in it?
Yeah, apparently, because she wasn't there doing that.
Yeah, it was a strange one. But then like you keep getting shots of him again, like the camera keeps going back to him, and it's like, is he meant to be someone really important that we're meant to care about?
No.
I'm not sure what I'm missing.
He's like the
here.
housekeeper. That's it.
Yeah, like he's not a big name or anything.
At one point, there's one scene where the stepmother, the nurse woman, she like pops out and she's like trying to console Christine, and then he like pops his head in the most comedic way. He's like around the corner. Like he wasn't supposed to be in the scene, and all of a sudden the actor was like, I'm executive decision, I gotta be in this scene.
I gotta be there. Yeah, that's a good point here. Arnold's character felt guilty for being unable to protect his wife and daughter. That's why I thought he was so devoted to saving Christine. That's kind of what I assume. Like, you're left to make your own decisions about that one, but like it kind of makes sense. Like, he wants to be this sort of protector role or whatever.
This was his era too for that, because he kind of, I remember seeing someone in the chat earlier mention this, and I actually loved what they said. This almost feels like a weird sequel to Kindergarten Cop, where he's like a former cop who's now doing, and it definitely has this, because at this point he was playing a lot of former law enforcement, gone rogue kind of stuff, and I can understand where you're coming from, and there's definitely this whole this theme of him losing people in this part of his career. It's almost like he knew he had a kid that he was not going to see for a very long time.
Yeah. You all seen the goofy shit they make the Swiss Guard at the Vatican wear? That I think is accurate. They do wear stuff like that. Well, at least ceremonially. I'm sure they don't do it like day to day when they're on like missions and shit. But yeah, that's like their ceremonial robes. Let me just answer this question here. Question: would you do a Drinker Recommends review on Casablanca? Watched it yesterday. Character, story, and dialogue are top tier. Yes, everyone knows this, but you always have an interesting take. I guess that's the question, isn't it? Like, when I'm reviewing a movie that's almost universally considered to be like iconic and amazing and awesome, like, can I really add anything to the discourse at this point? Because I don't want to come in. It's like coming in and saying like, "Hey, watch Citizen Kane, everyone. It's a really good movie." Like, yeah, no shit. Like,
just start using the shorts for that. Just start putting out 30-second reviews.
Yeah, it's kind of like, what can I add to that? If I could watch it and then give you some like unique take on it, sure. But like, I just don't know what I could add to it. I would much rather review maybe a movie that's not had as much attention as it deserves, or maybe got overlooked at the time, something like that. And then like, okay, I can draw some more attention to something that people might not have considered. But like with Casablanca, I feel like posterity has done okay with that movie. You know, it's kind of taken care of it for me, and I don't need to recommend it to anyone. It's just really fucking good.
There's just certain movies that they're just in the zeitgeist of, you don't need to really recommend them to people. Casablanca, some people just mentioned Citizen Kane. It's just, people know these. It's almost like you're born knowing these movies.
Yeah.
There's, unfortunately, there's, like you said, there's not much you can add to it.
Yeah, it'd be kind of like me saying, like, oh, watch The Godfather, you know, watch Citizen Kane, watch fucking Jaws, watch E.T. It's like, you know, everyone knows they're great. It's fine. Like, they don't need my support, you know.
The drinker stamp not required is what you're saying.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, I'm not that important, you know. There's bigger things going on in the world of cinema. Yeah, a short take like Stuckman. Well, clearly I need to work in an ad for like a gambling website or a payday loan company or something.
I
like
love
that.
Those are still my favorite things, like the random gambling websites. Because not only does it happen in a lot of people's YouTube videos, but it also happens on the high seas level. It's the one thing that's kind of on both ends of this whole thing.
Yeah, there's a good point here, actually. To be fair, you did put a review of It's a Wonderful Life. The review was glowing, and it wasn't exactly a controversial take. You're 100% right on that one. It was purely because I just happened to watch it. Like, every Christmas, it's become a thing for me. And, you know, there's other movies like Casablanca, for example, where it's like, yep, intellectually, I know it's a superb movie. It doesn't necessarily move me in the way that, like, it does with other people, but it's like, it's fine. I just know that it's taken care of. You know, history is going to judge it well. But with It's a Wonderful Life, that's a film that I just happened to watch, and because it's become like a Christmas tradition for me. And it's like, God damn, that movie just makes me feel fucking good every time I see it. And I just wanted to share that feeling with people. That's not me thinking like I'm going to add to the discourse on It's a Wonderful Life or anything like that. It's purely just me getting my own feelings out about that film because it meant something to me. So that sometimes that's what happens with my reviews. Like, I'm not there to always just say or tackle the movie that's popular in the moment, or you know, capitalize on some particular like wave of popularity that's going round at a time. It's just like, I've seen this movie, and for whatever reason it meant something to me, and I want to try and share that feeling with other people. So that's why I did a review of something like It's a Wonderful Life.
How dare you take a break from your grifting?
Or yeah, you know, how dare I have just emotional responses to movies? I don't know, man. Like that's one of those movies I would challenge anyone to watch and not feel moved by the end of it. You might not like shed a tear or anything, but you will feel better for having watched that. So yeah, anyway, that's just me. But back to End of Days. Yeah, I do like, she offers him fucking codeine
Xanax.
or something. Xanax. That's it.
Yeah. Fun.
And he's like,
I have a funny story about Xanax.
I drink.
So when I was a kid, I don't know why my mother had Xanax, probably because of me. But I confused it with my allergy medication when I was a kid. And I took for like 3 days, I was taking Xanax, and my allergies never got better, but I didn't give a shit. I was just like, it's fine. It's cool.
Never had Xanax. I don't think it's a thing in the UK. I don't know if we can get it over here, or if we
I'm
do,
sure you can. It just probably has a generic name.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. Do we call it Valium over here, or do you guys have Valium?
I don't think Valium and Xanax are the same thing. I mean,
right,
I don't know too much about, you know. Oh, I was man. They brought me into so it was in elementary school. They brought me in to like evaluate me. They were like, this kid, something is wrong with this kid. So like we had to like figure it out.
A lot of people are singing the praises of Xanax here. Like, Xanax works great. Yeah,
you know, legal calm. Come on, fuck it.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, she's offering him that, and yeah, wouldn't you know it? She happens to have like a little musical box thing, just like what he has to remind him of his kid.
It's almost identical, just color is different. It's almost, it's too convenient for me. That scene kind of just is weird to me. It's like, my girl had this exact thing. That's one of my pet peeves with movies, when a specific item is so similar that it reminds you of something.
When it's a musical box as well, like those things are so like fucking Victorian era. I just feel like people wouldn't have things like that now.
Yeah. It makes sense for her to have, because of she's supposed to be adopted into this rich family. There's probably, or I guess actually it's probably that her father was rich and the stepmom like inherited the money. So that's probably an heirloom that's handed down. It's a little different for the daughter.
Yeah. But yeah, they're obviously trying to draw parallels between, as people have said in chat, his lost family and this girl who clearly is in danger and needs help. Like that's his motivation. That's the thing that's going to draw him towards helping her.
Steals the books.
Yep, just helps himself. It's fine.
So here we go. I'm just gonna read these religious books. Fuck it.
Yeah, I did like that as well.
It is weird. Oh, the gas piss.
Why does he? It's such a convoluted fucking scene. Like, it's fine, but it's just like there must be easier ways for Satan himself upon planet Earth to kill one guy.
I just made a connection. Maybe he pissed gas into the restaurant earlier.
I mean, that's a lot of piss to blow up an entire restaurant.
I mean, this is the devil we're talking, and he had just gotten into that body. It could be one of those scenes where it's just like you wake up from a really long nap, and
like this is the perfect explanation. He's bored. Fuck it. Yeah, he's just bored. It's like, yeah, we'll just piss gasoline.
So I don't like I feel like they could have been a little bit more ambiguous with this, because it's very clear that Kevin Pollak's character dies right here.
I mean, he stood right at the door of this thing that explodes. Like, you do not walk away from something like that.
They could have been a little bit more ambiguous, had him walk away, not get out of the car, not seen the flames coming under his legs, and then it would have been it's very obvious when he reappears later, he died.
Yes.
Especially considering the fact they show Satan revive somebody from death not too long before that.
Yeah. This is where Arnold gets into the amazing fucking fight with Crazy Lady and farted on her face, presumably.
This is the scene of all the things in this movie that are unrealistic. This is the most unrealistic thing.
So help me out here, right? Has she got the power of Satan in her, and so is she now super strong or something? Because you can't just slide a grand piano across the fucking
if it has wheels on it, you can slide it pretty easily, but I don't know if there's wheels on it. They don't my guess, I think that they were trying to go for this, she's enhanced by Satan thing, because she like lifts
this movie.
She lifts this really fucking heavy
statue. There's a
statue and throws it at him. I mean, they could have at minimum been like, she works out a lot, like had like a line about it, but
yeah.
Hilariously, of all the unrealistic shit in this movie, this is the most unrealisticer thing.
Yeah, but he does like slam her through a table, so fair play, Arnold. But yeah, this is when they run outside and they get confronted by Pounder. She's going to pound him hard. I never really understood what happens here either. He just draws two pistols out of his head.
He has them in his. They show it earlier. So he has his main gun, which is a Glock 34. So I'm not much of a gun guy. So if I'm going to apologize to gun people, just like the Germans from before. He has his Glock 34, and then he slips like two smaller Glocks in. I don't know if there's isn't it like a Glock 19? Isn't that the smaller version or something like that?
A Glock 19 is still pretty bulky as far as guns go.
So he like slips them in, and you can hear him click. He has some sort of spring-loaded holsters in his sleeves.
Is that later in the movie though?
He does it in the very beginning, and then he does it again later as well. He shows that he has these these holsters in his sleeves. That's one of the reasons why he has like this really bulky trench coat, so he could like slip that in.
Yeah. Let me just answer this one before we go on. Yeah, the deaths in The Omen were creative in a supernatural way. They could have done something like that. Also, note how Arnold doesn't suspect Kevin until after he points his gun at him. That's just lazy. I mean, he didn't see what happened outside, so
he does shoot him to check. Like he literally shoots him in a scene.
Yeah, and so like it's probably enough for the audience to say like, yeah, this guy seems pretty real and pretty easy to hurt, so he's probably not Satan. And so Arnold doesn't think anything more beyond like Satan hasn't possessed your body directly, rather than he's made a deal with you or whatever. But yeah,
did we skip? Hold on, because this is the scene. No, this isn't the scene where. Okay, never mind. I thought we might have skipped the like legendary line. Never mind.
This is. Oh yeah, fuck. Okay, right. I have to stop it here. I am going to stop it here. So the 666, the mark of the beast, right? The symbol of the devil and stuff, right? So the explanation in this movie is that in dreams, numbers are often reversed in your perception, and so 666, he flips it upside down, becomes 999, as in the year 1999, or in Ryan Kinnell's parlance, the 199.
The 199.
So the 199 has fucking made its way into Happy Hour. Are you pleased?
I love that. So I love that we have two characters who are of German or like German speaking origin, and neither of them say 999.
Yeah. as we got here, it's 999.
The it's such a convoluted way to explain why we're gonna do this in 1999. Honestly, they were pretty convoluted with the actual Bible verse too, because like it's literally 27 is one line. It's the whole like 1,000 years have ended. He has been released from his prison. That's the thing.
Well,
then
yeah,
go ahead.
I was going to say as well, because like this movie alludes to the idea that 1,000 years ago, this same exact shit happened, and I guess they found a solution to it, and they stopped Satan from, bringing forth the Antichrist and opening the gates of hell. What happened there? That was like
the reason why it doesn't work is because the way that the Bible verse. So I'm not super religious anymore, but I am Catholic, historically in my life. The way the Bible verse in Revelations works is that he's released from his prison, then he goes and he like assembles an army of deviants, so to say, around the world, and he brings them, and then they're all burned, and he's sent back into an eternity of suffering. So they skip that line. It's he goes from like Gog and Magog, the four corners of the. If you pause the scene, you can read it, and the rest of the chapter makes no sense for what they're trying to do.
Yeah. Here we go. Can we do a prequel and cast Nick Cage? Fucking do it. I would pay to see that movie right this second.
I mean, why not?
Yeah. All right, cool. Let me go ahead. So, yeah. It's all bullshit. Basically, it all goes down on December 31st, 1999.
There's
this is where you get the line from Arnold. It's like, is this Eastern time? And no, it's all done. Don't you understand? It's the Gregorian monks. They worked all of this out in advance and then worked backwards from there. That doesn't make sense because
Greenwich Mean Time.
How the fuck
it'd be funny if he
even
kept going.
Yeah, it's like, how did they know that Eastern Standard Time was even going to be a thing in the year 1999? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
That would be funny if he would have just kept like the whole scene. He just kept asking like, well, why not Australia? Well, since we mentioned Australia, it's like, why does California not matter? Like,
yeah,
he just kept going.
Yeah, it's like, what's happening in the Holy Land while all this is going on?
It's like, yeah, what about Jerusalem?
Yeah, I like this. I survived Y2K. We all did. We all made it through it. I was super fucking scared in 1999, but I made it through it. It was fine.
I was like 12 when that happened, and I was like, well, if it happens, it happens. Who cares?
You were just a child back then.
Yeah, I know I look older than you now, but I looked like 17 when I was 12, so it's, you know, it happens.
Sorry, I went through it. I didn't even look like a teenager when I was one.
No, I got that a lot when I was like 16. People thought I was like 25. I was like, when I
it's
turned
great
30,
though. You
when
never
I
get
turned
ID.
30, I was like, yeah, I finally look like my age. Yeah.
You never get ID for drinks though, so that all helps. Yeah, so this is interesting, right? This is one of the things that pisses me off about this film. So they basically say she's safer with us, and Arnold's like, okay, guess I'll just leave then, and then he fucks off back to his apartment. This is like what you absolutely do not want to be doing at the end of the second act in your movie when you're about to go into the third act, fucking all guns blazing finale, right? It doesn't make any sense why he would just give her up like that and then just go back to like sulk for a while, because it kills the pace of this movie. This is what adds to the runtime unnecessarily. This is what annoys me about this film. It makes it so much longer than it needs to be.
This is definitely the slowing point. So, yeah, this is about what, like an hour and change into the movie. I don't know. But I do feel like if they were gonna do this kind of separation, it probably should have been a little bit sooner.
Yes. Yeah. There we go.
What are we doing?
Where's your drink?
I mean, I'm not too bad. Yeah, I have to not get too annihilated for this stream, like I do for Open Bar, because I have to help try to be useful.
So, DarkHour did say in advance, right, for any big super chats that we get, he would do a shot of tequila.
I mean, I've been doing them anyway, but I've been doing them for free. But if you I said, what was it, $50? Because I know you did those for your like.
If it was $50, like we can force him to do shots. So I'll leave it up to you, chat, and please, like, that's not begging for donations or anything. I don't want it, but like, if you want to just humiliate this guy, then that's.
I mean, it will get bad. It will get bad.
We'll see what happens.
Well, this is a double shot glass too. This is a no joke one.
Okay, so you could potentially make this guy pass out, or even
I could die at the end of the stream if you guys really wanted to. Like,
yeah. Anyway,
I'll never forget. So before we move on, I'll never forget
that.
So for the Last Action Hero stream, people called me out for not drinking mid stream, and I was like, "Fuck, I've never been on a stream before, but I now have to do it drunk." Like, I was like, whatever. What's the worst that can happen?
It's something I did it on EFAP, actually. The very first time I ever appeared on EFAP, it was my first live stream ever, actually. I'd never done one before because my channel had just taken off. And so I was there with Mauler and Rags and, you know, all the other guys. And I brought a bottle of Jack Daniels with me that I just opened like a couple of days ago. And so it was maybe 3/4 full. It was empty by the end. So I drank 3/4 of a bottle of Jack in the course of that stream.
In fairness, an EFAP is about 9 hours long. So
that's the thing. I was probably on for a good 6 or 7 hours, and I was fucking wasted by the end of it. It's the most drunk I've ever been on stream. And the funny thing is, I actually went to work the next day. I absolutely, definitely should not have driven into work that day.
Someone just said, if it's a $200 super chat, I have to ride the subway to Brooklyn, from Brooklyn to the Bronx after midnight.
Naked.
Do it. Send the $200 super chat. Fuck it, I'll do it. I don't live that close to New York anymore. I used to live closer. Now I'm a little bit further away.
Yeah. So yeah, he gets sent away. He's like, fuck it. And then the devil shows up in his apartment. This is when he offers him the temptation, you see, to get his family back.
This scene confuses the shit out of me. So he's able to touch everything except the people.
Yes. So because I think what you're meant to take from this is he's still in his apartment. And so all you're seeing, the only thing that's not real is the people around him and maybe the fucking fake Christmas tree or whatever. Mm-hmm. And that's it. So if he shoots things like, well, real items get damaged, fall over or whatever, but the people don't. So I think that's what they're going for. It's a bit tenuous, but Nah.
I mean, it's not the worst confusion I've ever had with a movie. I can accept this confusion. It's just I almost feel like his gun shouldn't be affecting the things around him. Maybe he picks up the thing off the tree. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's like whatever. But the gun shouldn't be hitting a lamp and then not hitting the person behind it. It's just it seems weird that the only tangible items are inanimate in this scene.
Yeah. And I will say there's acting going on from Arnold here. It's not necessarily amazing acting, and Gabriel Byrne just absolutely runs rings around him, but he's trying. He's really trying in this one. Like I say, this is probably the most that a movie asks from Arnold ever.
I've always said this about Arnold. I feel like as he got better at acting, people hated his acting. Like when he tried to act, obviously in like Terminator 1, Terminator 2, he's not that bad. Predator is decent, but like Commando, like these early movies, he doesn't really do much acting other than the occasional comedic quip. You know, the like, but
he's definitely got charisma and he's got screen presence, but like he was never meant to be an actor. He's just like he traded on his physique, his physical power, his presence. That was what sold him.
I think the thing that's most awesome about Arnold is like he basically went into this, like someone just said in the chat, he's a bodybuilder, right? That's really what he is. His history is fantastic, might I add. Like if you go back and read about before he was, in the army and stuff, it's fantastic. But he had 3 goals in life. One was to win Mr. Universe. One was, or Mr. Olympia, I forget which one. The next one was to become a Hollywood actor and to marry a Kennedy. He did all 3. Now he fucked up one of those. So
yes, but he did it. You know what happens afterwards? Well, that's anyone's guess, but.
I mean, he didn't get fucked up until he was like 70, so who cares?
Yeah, and as they point out here, we didn't expect much when he wasn't trying. Yeah, for sure, and that's what sets this movie kind of apart. It's like, oh, he is actually trying to act here.
Yeah, I'm sure that might have been a Bill Burr joke. I used to go to a lot of Bill Burr shows. I probably picked that up from Bill Burr, maybe, but those were his like goals.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right. I've read.
He said those in his book. Yeah, he said those in what was it? Total Recall, I think it was the name of the book.
Yeah. Move to America, become a movie star, marry a Kennedy.
Yeah.
It's like, fucking hell. The man knew what he wanted.
Yeah, Bill Burr is unfortunately fallen off. He used to be a lot funnier back in the day.
Yeah, he's a bit of a pod person these days.
I used to go to his show like years ago. I went to his shows and they were some of the best comedy shows I've ever seen. And then I went a couple of years ago and I was like, nah, that's not for me no more. I left early. Joey Diaz had a better his opening act. Joey Diaz had a better show than him.
Yeah, I mean, like any comedian, like he was willing to push the boundaries a little bit and be funny and say the things that everyone believes, but no one's willing to actually say out loud. And now it's just like he just fucking recycles whatever the current fucking zeitgeist is.
Yeah.
Whatever the talking points are these days, he'll just say it. Dude sold his soul. I hope it was worth it, bro. I really do. Because everyone kind of hates you now.
Joey Diaz is fucking hilarious. And I've actually he trains jiu-jitsu. I want to roll with that guy at some point.
Yeah. Bill Burr gets pegged by his wife now.
It sucks. It's such a fall.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, man. I wouldn't be surprised. They marry fucking yeah.
It's such a fall from grace because he was one of the top comedians on the planet. And I've been to maybe 6 or 7 Bill Burr shows. And it wasn't until this last like 1 or 2 where I was like, this guy doesn't got it anymore. He doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah.
It sucks. It sucks when you see a comedian just lose it. I mean, probably
they sell out. They sell out. That's what it comes down to. They fucking sell out because it's easier to just do the, whatever's, safe and politically correct. And it's going to get them kudos and get them access to like bigger deals and bigger acting gigs in Hollywood. They'll just do it. Well, that's what Bill Burr
There's
did.
A correlation to when he was in, what was that? It wasn't The Acolyte. It was Mandalorian. When he was in The Mandalorian and when he sold out. There's a correlation between those two.
Yeah. 100%. I was trying to pause it there.
That's fantastic.
That's fucking acting
Okay.
right there.
Okay. This scene has the line, and you're fucking choir boy compared
You're
to me. A choir boy.
compared to me. A fucking choir boy. It's like, you're talking to literally Satan, right? I'm pretty sure
I
he's
mean,
more
it
evil
takes
than
some
you.
balls to tell the literal devil that he's a choir boy.
So, this is one of my, it's not a pet peeve, but it's just one of those things I always notice about movies. Whenever someone gets thrown out of a high building, they always land on something. They always land on like a car or a hot dog stand or something that can like explode underneath them. They never just splat on the sidewalk. It always has to be a thing that's dramatic. And in this case, of course, it's a car.
Yeah, honestly, it would probably, by modern standards, it would be more likely to be a Hallel cart. That's the thing. They have taken over New York. You can't go one
Oh,
block
really?
without seeing a Hallel cart. Oh yeah, Hallel carts have overtaken.
Oh, wow.
Hollywood.
It's just like being in the UK then.
Oh,
Great.
yeah. There's quite a few, and some of them are pretty good. But it's it is weird that no one ever just hits the pavement
And just goes splat. But yeah, this is when his buddy comes back. So literally, he's just throwing Satan out of a window. And then his mate just shows up and he's like, oh, okay, you're here then.
He shoots him though. I actually love the fact that he shoots him.
Yeah. Ah, you fucking shot me. But yeah. So okay, now they have to go back to the church where she's being helped. And the fucking this is where it gets really convoluted. So the good priests want to help her and protect her. Then the bad priests show up and they want to kill her to save, the rest of humanity. And I say bad priests, like, in quotation marks, because they're kind of doing what's like really the pragmatic, sensible thing to do. Either way, wouldn't you know it? Arnold just happens to show up at exactly the right moment.
And he has impeccable aim for a guy who just had his hand completely fucked up, might I add.
Yeah. He's not wearing a bandage or anything. He's fine now. It's all good.
And it's somebody mentioned, it is Rod Steiger.
I love Rod Steiger.
Sorry, Steiger. I never heard it pronounced. But yeah, he does a great job. He's kind of the grounding element of this movie. Every time the scene gets a little too big, he like brings it back in.
Well, you know how like say in a movie like Under Siege, right? It's really Gary Busey and Tommy Lee Jones who are doing all the heavy lifting, acting wise, and Steven Seagal's just this fucking block of wood who like they orbit around. Well, in this movie, you've got Gabriel Byrne, you've got Rod Steiger, you've got some pretty serious acting talent here that are helping to just elevate things a little bit, which was 100% a good decision.
They bring the actual acting acclimate to it, so to say.
Yes. Yeah.
This scene is, so I will say this, from this point forward in the movie, it does speed up a lot. It definitely, there's that.
We're in the third act now. Now it's into action movie territory.
Yeah, there's that middle act, that like half hour of just nothingness, and then from here, you blink and you miss it kind of stuff.
Yeah, I will say that's a fucking good shot of Arnold there.
He does it twice too. He
yeah, well, he's like, I could do this all day.
Yeah,
and it's a good line. But like, he actually looks just like it's such a stupid thing to say, but he looks like a normal person.
Oh, you mean shot like like the actual shot of?
Yeah. Just the actual shot of him, and it's like, oh, he looks like just a cop or like a hard bitten fucking private eye or something like that. He looks more like a normal person rather than like a superhero, rather than this larger than life caricature that you got in so many of his movies. He looks the part here. It's pretty good.
And he does do this thing where he actually will, when he's not firing, he will take his finger off the trigger and put it on the side of the barrel, which is good trigger discipline. So some actors won't do that. Obviously, he's been in a lot of action movies, so he probably has been told over the years, like, "Hey, take your finger off the trigger if you're not."
He knows how guns work at this point. Yeah. Oh yeah,
this is my favorite like moment in the whole movie.
Is this when he stabs him with the
In the name of God, get out of the bong.
The movie handles, to be fair, it handles this scene fairly well, where it's like, okay, for Satan to actually come into a church, it causes him immense pain, but he's just like, yeah, I can take it because this is more important.
And it shakes the scene. Like it's clearly that he's not supposed to be there. So it's like, like shaking the whole scene, which is pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, shaky cam, but yeah, sure. We can
It's whatever. I mean, obviously you're limited by the effects you can. One thing that doesn't make any sense to me though, I'll wait a second because it happens in a little bit.
Okay. Is this where they crucify him?
Yes, and that scene, since you read the since you read the autobiography, do you know the story behind that scene?
You might have to refresh my memory on this one.
His youngest daughter, only visited the set for one day of this movie, and it was when she walked in when he was crucified.
Oh shit!
So, like, can you imagine like walking in, seeing your father like up on a cross, and you're like, "Fuck, what the hell?"
Yeah. The thing is, like, again, this is a pacing issue where, like, he gets put up on the cross and then he's left there for like a whole day, and then the Rod Steiger finds him and then brings him down. It's like, well, why did you leave him up there? Like, you knew someone was going to see him eventually. If nothing else, he could just call for help because, like, you haven't gagged him or anything. It's
why is Rod? Okay, I'm going to pronounce it right. This is Rod Steiger. Sorry, Rod Steiger even alive? I mean, like, he killed everybody else in the church. He killed every other character in the church.
Because he's Rod Steiger, motherfucker. He can tank a hit.
He fought in World War II, motherfucker. That's why.
Yeah, he was in The Painted Man, okay, and he played Napoleon in Waterloo. So yeah, they've patched him up so that he can go back into the fray again, and then just off he goes, I guess. And this is what I was talking about earlier, where they've just got like this entire arsenal of weapons that you can just, I guess, help yourself to.
It's weird because isn't that an MP4? I mean, I don't know. Like I said earlier, I don't know guns.
This looks like it looks like an MP5.
MP5. Sorry, MP5. Sorry.
Yeah, so a submachine gun with a grenade launcher attached to it. I've never seen such a thing in real life. I don't even know if you can do that to a submachine gun. To have a 203
grenades
grenade launcher.
Don't have a lot of recoil. I know that, and like rocket propelled grenades don't have a lot of recoil because it's
whether it would even fit into the frame of it. Because you don't have much real estate to play with there. I don't know how you would attach it. I've never seen an attachment like that.
I'll just preemptively say yes. And to the people in the comments, MP4 is a file. I understand MP5. Sorry.
Yeah. Let's see if anyone in chat has ever seen such a thing. Chat, have you ever seen an MP5 with a grenade launcher attached to it? I never have. Yeah. Best MP5s were in Die Hard. Yeah, motherfucker, you're absolutely right.
Well, there was also what was that? What was the one that not the main villain, the like blonde guy used in Die Hard? It was like a
Stare Og.
Yeah, that's it.
Quite an unusual gun, but yeah, quite popular in Europe, which makes sense.
That's such a cool scene too in that movie when he like puts it together.
Yeah.
I wish I knew guns better. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I'm failing as an American to not understand guns any better than I do. I'm just like point and shoot. That's fine. That works for me.
Yeah. Apparently it exists, but it's very rare. Drinker does not know the American love for guns. Yes, I fucking do. I love guns as well. I just don't get to have as much hands-on experience as you guys do, so I'm very jealous.
I did a lot of for my Stranger Things video. I got some compliments because I did some research on the fact that what's her face Nancy was using an MP4, and I was like, there was 892 that existed at the time when this would have came out, and I got actually some compliments on that, so that was pretty cool.
I honestly thought that was an M16 that she was using. I guess I was wrong.
It would have been too big, like wide for her body.
Right.
So MP4.
Yeah, the general consensus in chat is nope, only in my dreams. No, haha, nope, perhaps. And play Half-Life.
I mean, well, whatever. I mean, just have fun with it at this point. I mean, if you're doing a fantasy movie about Arnold versus the devil, fuck it. Put an MP5 with a M203 on the bottom of it. Fuck it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep saying fuck it. I know there's no MP4. Don't shoot mechs. I understand that.
Oh, right. Here's a good point.
I'm like 17 shots in of tequila. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the M203 fits on any standard rail, but the MP5 doesn't have a rail. Yeah, that's good. Probably a good point. Yeah. So
I like I said, like I fired guns as a as my rite of passage as an American, but I've never I don't know. I'm not an encyclopedic knowledge of them. I mean, I apologize.
Well, here's the solution. You need to move to a freedom state and learn more about guns.
I do. I would love to leave New Jersey. I fucking hate it here.
It seems like it's the UK, but like just more Americanized. Like the weather's probably shit, like what we have here, because you're
so actually, yeah.
north.
So believe it or not, we actually have similar weather to the UK because of the way that the jet streams work. So if you look at a jet stream, Doppler, I guess that would be. If you look at where the jet stream goes to the UK versus the New Jersey, New York, it's the same deal.
I'm sorry for that in that case, because our weather's fucking depressing.
I've lived here my whole life. What can I say?
Yeah. Anyways, gearing up here. Time to kick some fucking ass. It would be an Arnold movie if he didn't.
Nobody has tipped $50, but fuck it.
That's it. You can get this guy destroyed tonight if
I'm already fucked up, dude. Drinker brings out the worst in me. He really does. This guy's a terrible influence.
Yep. Anyway, so these guys are Arnold sneaks into the devil worshipping scene where Gabriel Byrne is going to take Robin Tunney, but he has to do it with her consent because he's like, "You want this, don't you? I mean, I'm Gabriel Byrne. Why wouldn't you want this?"
It's a little weird that he asks for her consent. It's like
I don't know if that, because if this was made in present day, I'd be like, yeah, they had to do that for fucking political reasons or whatever. Back in 1999, I don't feel like that was a concern, but it's like they felt the need to put that in there anyway. I'm not sure what they were going for there.
I think the whole thing is that she can't resist him anyway, so he might as well get consent.
I guess maybe
there is like random rock music playing in this scene, by the way, that I've after 2 watches, I was like, why is this here? Because they're not playing it themselves.
Yeah, the soundtrack is a bit wild. It's funny, right? I know this isn't happening, but in this scene, it looks like the dude to the left there has got a fucking iPhone and he's recording this whole thing.
I can see it. He was like the satanic priest or whatever.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, bro, this is 100% going on the hub after this.
Might as well.
So yeah, he's in there. I don't know how he got in, but like no one seems to recognize him until he starts killing people, and then boom, then the shooty stuff happens.
Where's the intimacy coordinator and the clearly she doesn't want this scene? Yeah,
you do not get that. And back in the 90s, this is where it gets a bit confusing, because I was always a bit in the dark about like what his physical capabilities are, like the Gabriel Byrne's character, because it seems like if you shoot him with, like, say, a pistol point blank range, he'll heal up instantly. But if you shoot him and do enough damage to him, he doesn't seem to heal up. And then he takes a grenade to the chest and he's just blown to pieces.
So I do think that even when he does get shot with the pistol, when he heals it, there's still a scar there. I do think that there is a level of, no matter, even if he can heal it, one of the jokes that he says,
still damage, basically.
Yeah, one of the jokes that he says when he gets shot in the apartment is, "Don't mess with the coat." I don't think that that's actually his physical coat. I think that's what he's talking about, his body.
Right.
That was kind of how I felt about it.
That makes sense. Yeah, there it is. There, like, okay, so he's obviously like shot him a few times before. I'll see if I can pause it on that moment just so you can see him.
I just want to say
quite
something.
Quite gnarly prosthetics there.
I just want to say something. New York City, Rob, you're not allowed to say that. New Jersey, we're only new people from New Jersey are allowed to say that we suck ass.
Yeah, there it is right there.
The East Coast, California. I agree with that part.
Yeah.
So, so I don't know if you, in your research, if you found out this, but like basically what they did was there was obviously prosthetics on his head there, but what they did was they had like green screen suit underneath it that like helped them make him look more fucked up.
Right. Okay.
I mean, this whole sequence would have go on, just go on.
Yeah, let's just carry on. It's so they can have like a nice like monster sequence where he punches through the train and shit.
Yes, which reminds me of Resident Evil. I don't know if that.
Oh yeah. I had to pause it there. Where he punches through the driver.
Yeah, Nicole. I want to know who Nicole is, by the way, because apparently she has 4 titties.
Yep.
But so this is if you do your research on this, it's supposedly a reference to Terminator. I would like to just knock that out to this day. The whole he punches the punk's heart out, not a thing. Doesn't happen. Right. He doesn't do it.
There you go. It was funny though. Oh yeah. So there's a lot of just shoots him. They decouple the car. Shoots him when he's trying to leap between the carriages, and then he blows up. Yeah, it's fun.
How do we rewind back to this?
Oh
scene?
shit! Sorry, I clicked on the wrong bit. Fuck.
I was about to be like, holy shit! Are we gonna redo this whole fucking movie?
No, I clicked back to the beginning. Sorry. Yeah, so it was a reference to the fact that explosions, fire, none of that stuff seems to bother him early in the movie, but when he gets hit with it here, suddenly it's the end of everything for him, and he's fucked.
Would say this: there is, yes, he can heal himself. Like I said, there's clearly scarring when he shoots through the hand, shoots through the stomach. There's probably, even though he's possessed by the devil, there's probably a amount of punishment the human body can take, no matter what. So
I guess is what they're going for. It's like his shell can absorb a certain amount of damage that he can heal, but beyond that, it's okay, he just has to abandon it, and so that's what he does. So
exactly,
he's followed them to the church, and I think this for Arnold was quite a big scene. Or I remember him getting interviewed about this in the run up to this movie because they hyped the shit out of this film. I remember him doing talk show appearances, even over here in the UK, which you don't normally see. But the moment where he drops his gun and throws it aside because
please God, give me strength.
Yeah. I think they thought that was way more profound than it actually was, but they were really going for something with that. It's this action star who's used to solving every problem at the point of a gun finally realizes no, in this moment, guns or destruction, that's not going to save me. That's not going to help me here. I need something more.
Some people in the chat are mentioning the holy hand grenade of Antioch. Something
about
Arnold. Oh yeah, Arnold did promote this for WWF because I remember he actually came in the ring and he beat the shit out of Triple H. I remember that.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was on the side of the ring.
Choreography wasn't great, but
I mean, who cares? It's Triple H, and you just fuck him up. Who cares? But the one thing I will say, what was that? The hold on, let me rewind because I'm drunk. The holy hand grenade of Bangkok. So I really wish that they would have done a little bit more of that. Maybe he got some holy water from the priest and put it on the bullets or something. I as dumb as this sounds, similar to From Dusk Till Dawn, where they put the
something like that. But yeah, they just went a different route with this, and so this is where he gets possessed by Satan, and that's bad CGI. I'm not gonna lie.
It's not the worst CGI I've ever seen. Let's be honest here, Drinker. This is not the worst CGI. It's not great, but it's not the worst.
It's just the design of it as well is kind of uninspiring, and it's I would rather have Satan represented by a human actor than try to do this monster shit where it's just really boring looking. It's it's just a giant bat / dragon thing. It's really just unimaginative. But anyway, it takes control of him, as we can see. Oh dear.
Oh no.
Yeah. And so
find this whole scene. So obviously I take notes for this shit, for these streams, and I put in my notes something like, if this was, so he resists this, right? He resists inseminate. First of all, he has 12 seconds. Like, that would have been some impressive levels of.
It's a challenge, but it's not impossible.
It's not impossible, but it's
if
like
you give me Sydney Sweeney, okay, I could probably do it in that time.
It's 1,000 years of foreplay and 12 seconds of finalizing. That being said, if this was his Mexican maid, I think he would have been able to pull it off.
Yeah. Arnold,
literally, as I said that, somebody said, well, she's not Mexican.
Yeah, he could have done so much better, honestly. Anyway,
I don't mind this scene. It's so they had originally for this sequence, they had him like revive, like resurrect, and
yes,
audiences fucking hated it.
Yeah, and it would have made no sense, like, thematically. I think it would have required a sacrifice, and so I'm fine with the fact that his character dies. It's just, yeah, there he goes.
That's a great stop. You are the master of stops.
I honestly, like, I'm having to work hard at this one, but it's like, fucking hell, he loves.
Guys, we're both drunk as fuck at this point, so it's
I got it.
These are my favorite streams.
He honestly looks like he's having the time of his life there. Yeah, let's party.
Somebody mentioned, so I have it in my notes, but I want to mention that somebody said it in the chat earlier. This is the only time in his existence as an actor, as a non-Terminator, he dies. As a human, he dies.
Yeah.
So
it was significant. It was significant. There he goes. Ow! Ow! Got a fucking sword through me.
Oh no!
Come on, pull it out. Let's do it now.
You have a much better Arnold voice than me.
I don't know about you. I've gotten so pissed off sometimes that I've just vomited fire across the entire room.
That doesn't look like vomiting fire. I'm not going to lie. That looks like something else.
Yeah.
Not going to lie, guys. I think I drink out. I drink out. Oh, fuck. I bring out the worst in Drinker, and he brings out the worst in me. I'm convinced.
But anyway, the important thing here is that he's sacrificed himself for the good of humanity, and he gets one last vision. Oh shit, I did it again. I clicked back. Right, let's fucking let's get it.
That is an impressively sharp sword for just being like a decorative thing, by the way.
Yeah, it's really lucky it landed there, actually. Satan did not plan for that shit.
Yeah, and then how the fuck are we back to this scene?
Yeah.
You guys are getting the greatest of a random stream bullshit that we've ever had.
Yeah, but I should bring it back to this bit, actually, because this is really where it comes down to. So, yeah, sacrifices himself.
So there are some people who have great Arnold impressions, but I feel like you can get a good one if you just make this like sound. It always works.
I think if you can master the Arnold grunt, you know, when you get whenever you get hit,
I'm going to come fire. None of us are. We're not focusing. Fuck that. Fuck focus. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he comes.
I'm
fire.
slowly slipping into my like video persona.
Yeah. So that's basically that's
the end of the movie, right?
Yeah. So
Arnold ejaculates fire, and that's the end of the fucking movie.
Yeah. And so, you know, I'm going to come back to what I said at the beginning of this. Let me just take this off here. So we've had our recap. You know, this movie is a slightly frustrating one because I can kind of see what it could have been if they committed to one course of action. Like if they either committed to like the horror aspect of it and made it more like Seven, or if they went for just a big bombastic Arnold Schwarzenegger action movie, or if they did some like weird biblical epic set in the present day. But like they tried to combine all of those things into one film, and the result is a slightly unsatisfying movie. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen. You know, it's it kept me entertained for 2 hours. I was starting to like feel that time after a certain point. It's like this movie is dragging a little bit for me.
It definitely has this sandwich effect. I like to say it like it's the first act moves pretty quickly. The second act, it's just too much, and then the third act moves. I wish that they would have just paced a little bit better.
Yeah, but you know, there's definitely this nostalgia factor that you get with late 90s movies like this, that you'll never get from modern films. Like there's this feeling of, oh wow, this is this is a film that feels like it was grounded in real locations. It was filmed in real places. It was, you know, for all the issues that we pointed out with even the lighting, it's like, well, at least I feel like the lighting was coming from real light sources in real locations that they filmed in. So there's that at least. I don't know, but you know, it's definitely a mid-tier Arnold Schwarzenegger movie for me. It's on that same plane as Eraser, or you know, that sort of thing. Not the best, not the worst, just nah. Somewhat
like I said,
forgettable.
that late 90s, early mid 2000s range for Arnold was not his best work.
Yeah, but yeah, again, like when I compare it to a lot of modern movies, I would probably rewatch this over a lot of the stuff that we get nowadays. So I mean, there's that for sure. Arnold's got a charisma that you don't get from a lot of modern actors, so it makes him watchable in a way that a lot of other actors now wouldn't be. Like The Rock couldn't equal what Arnold was on screen. Never could.
Which is weird because The Rock has such crazy charisma from his years of being a wrestler.
But
I don't understand why
charisma.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It definitely he doesn't. I feel like when he transitioned to acting, he took a lot of those elements out of his wrestling persona, which is weird.
Yeah, I think when I see The Rock, I see a commodity. You know, I see a product rather than a person. Whereas with Arnold, yeah, I see more of a person there, and like a person who's got a huge amount of drive and determination, and yeah, like actual screen presence and charisma. I think Arnold has more charisma and presence on screen than The Rock ever did.
I think the issue with The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, whatever you want to call him, he always had a fallback.
That right there. The Rock is a Disneyfied version of Arnold.
That's pretty good. I would say he always had a fallback. Arnold, this was his thing. He was just if at some point his acting career collapsed, that was the end of it. The Rock, if his acting career collapsed, he could just go back to being a wrestler. There was never any, you know, he didn't feel the need to elevate it.
Yeah. I guess before we go on to super chats, like, yeah, do you have any sort of parting thoughts on this movie? Any final remarks?
My only parting thought is that I'm going to tell everybody I plan to make Drinker do every single Arnold movie ever. So don't worry. I'll annoy the shit out of him until he does all of them.
I mean, you know, I've done a bunch of them with Mahler already. So
I know.
like,
I don't ask you to do those ones.
Right. So. And yeah, I think I've done a happy hour on Commando already.
You've done Commando, you've done Conan, you've done Terminator, Terminator 2, Last Action Hero, this one.
I'd have to do, the lesser known ones like Red Heat or something like that.
You've done a couple on my channel. You've done a couple on my channel.
I need to do that one. Yeah. Eraser would be an interesting one to do, actually.
Okay, we're doing it next. Everyone, you heard it. You heard it right here.
But all right, tell you what, allow me to answer some super chats here. So, the only non-Terminator movie where Arnie dies, yes, as DarkHour was saying there, 100% right.
In fairness, that person said it first. They said it in a super chat.
Yeah. Cheers, gents. Just wanted to say I'm happy for you, DarkHour, and your channel growing into a major success. Yeah, congratulations. You're like 22,000.
21,000, something like that. Yeah, I mean, obviously compared you're on this side, compared to Drinker, nothing. But considering the fact I started at 0 the first time I was on this channel, I'm happy with it.
Doing well, doing well.
Mm.
Honestly, your Stranger Things season 5 stuff is superb.
I had a lot of fun with that video. My favorite thing, by the way, is me talking about the character of Mr. Clark. I turned him into like this sex machine throughout the whole fucking video.
Next up is I do have a request for you both. When you review Christopher Nolan's Odyssey this summer and say Matt Damon's name, could you play the Team America clip of Matt Damon for me? That would be funny. I will 100% do that. I think everyone's going to do it ultimately.
Yeah, I mean, I will cover that movie. Unfortunately, it seems like my movie reviews don't do as well as my TV reviews, which is whatever. You know, it's just how YouTube works. But I'll do it. Fuck it. I'll say Matt Damon.
Yep.
Or I'll play it.
Yeah. Also, Drinker, are you going to review The Housemaid? I'm fucking drunk as well. All I know is that Sydney Sweeney at one point loses her shirt. If you catch my drift, yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, I'm willing to take one for the team here and watch that.
I love that Sydney Sweeney has just embraced that she just has nice titties. She's just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna go with this.
I mean, that's a resource that you got to exploit while it lasts because it doesn't. So, you know, might as well make the most of it. Yeah, awesome to see DarkHour in here. You're a quiet boy compared to me. Always makes me chuckle a little. Burn as the Devil is fun, but he's no Pacino. That is true, yeah, but he has a lot of fun.
I mean, nobody is compared to Pacino. Let's be honest. Like he's like way up here.
Yeah. I mean, in The Devil's Advocate, he does tear the scenery to pieces and chew it and spit it out. So, yeah, there is that. Defending the Truth says, Limp Bizkit in the trailer always stuck with me. Yep. Why not? Why not?
Were they in the trailer?
I think they were, yeah. I didn't play all of it, obviously, but I think they were used.
Well, we would have got shut down if you played any song, so.
Yeah. To all, what's your least favorite Arnie film? You don't necessarily dislike it, just like it the least. Have you seen Two Meals for Sister Sarah? No, I haven't, so don't know about that. But
Junior, probably my least favorite one.
That's a pretty good choice, actually.
I mean, you could pick the same one. It's not required that
you could pick easy ones like Hercules in New York just because it's
that was so early in his career, though. Like, can we really judge him on that?
It's still an Arnold movie, ultimately. But beyond that, you get into like the later Terminator movies like Genesis or Dark Fate. They're all fucking terrible. I hated to see him in it.
Yeah, Dark Fate. Unfortunately, like Dark Fate was a cash grab for him at that point. So
yeah. But that's
Red Sonja. There we go. He should have played King Conan in Red Sonja. Somebody said that.
I don't mind Red Sonja. I don't think it's a great movie, but like I wouldn't hate on it or anything. It's just like, yeah, they did their best with the 1980s resources. Bridget Nielsen was probably the best you were going to get in terms of statuesque.
Yeah, you realize how big of a woman she is in that movie. Like she's actually a very large woman.
She's a big lass. I think she's about 6 foot tall, or she was like back in the 80s anyway.
She would make me and Drinker seem like I'm 6'1", Drinker 6'2", so we would feel kind of normal there.
It's quite an unusual experience for me if I meet a girl who's my height. Very rare.
In college, I dated a girl who was taller than me. It was the weirdest thing. I was like,
I did the same thing. Like, she wasn't taller than me, but she was if she was in heels. So she was like roughly my height. And yeah, it was weird.
There's a little snoo involved.
Yeah, I mean, like I've never apart from that girl, I've never had to like kiss up the way, and it's a weird fucking feeling. Never want to do that again. I like Maggie, a heartfelt film that gave Arnold a chance to really act and do a good job. All that zombies too. Yes, I've never seen Maggie. It's never on TV. It's never on any streaming services. I don't know what the fuck they did to bury that movie, but
I was always intrigued by it.
So that's where his daughter gets infected by a zombie virus thing, and he's trying to keep her alive or keep her from being killed by people. And so it's much more like a drama character-based thing. And yeah, apparently Arnold really acts in it. Never seen it though.
So I do think he's gotten better over the years. Is he a fantastic?
Sure.
Are we gonna like put him in the the upper echelon of actors? No, but he has improved. If you look at his early stuff versus
Sure.
it's night and day.
Yeah, I mean, he matured obviously as a performer and stuff, and that goes here. It says, I disagree that Arnold is a bad actor. He's got issues with dialogue reading, but his facial expressions and mannerisms always nails those, in my opinion. I mean, like to a degree, like this movie demands quite a lot from him in terms of like emotional range, and I don't think he can necessarily bring it as a performer. He does his best, and this is, like I said before, it's definitely way above anything else he's done in terms of emotional depth to a character. He can't quite pull it off because it's not really within his range as an actor. I don't blame him for that or whatever. It's just, some people have got that talent, some don't. But as DarkHour said, I think his maturity as a performer definitely improved over the years. It's just he still has a range that he can operate within.
Technically,
Muller and I have
every
talked
actor
about this.
does.
Yeah, for sure. Like for most, for the great ones, obviously that range is very large and they can do almost anything you need them to. For others, it's very specific and narrow. With Arnold, something like Predator is probably his comfort zone, where he definitely has to convey a lot of emotion, but like it's within it's within a certain set range where he doesn't have to be shedding tears. He doesn't have to be like really emoting the shit out of a scene, but he can convey something for sure, like a man who's up against something he doesn't understand.
I've always said this about Arnold, and people might not agree with this, but his range is actually probably best in T2. So he starts out very emotionless, right? And then by the end of the movie, he shows that this evolution throughout the movie. It's not the greatest range, obviously, but I do think that he shows that he can go from come with me if you want to live to, I understand why you cry, but it's something I can never do. There was definitely, I always say that Terminator 2 was kind of the evolution point for him.
I think so. And like, someone like Cameron is, if anyone can tease like the exact correct performance out of Arnold, it's going to be a guy like James Cameron. He understands what he needs from his performers. Arnie's range definitely got wider over time. He was never going to be a Charles Dance. Last Action Hero was great fun, by the way, but I appreciate the effort.
Started my YouTube career. Last Action Hero.
End of Days is free to watch on YouTube right now. No, it isn't.
No, it is. It is. You can only watch it with ads. But I found this out because I bought the fucking Blu-ray and I was like, God damn it! It like 2 days later it became free on YouTube. I was like, I could have saved $20.
Damn.
I mean,
over here
in
the UK, I think it was free on Amazon Prime. Over here.
Hold on, I looked it up earlier today. Like I know for a fact it's fucking free.
I'm pretty sure I watched it on Amazon Prime.
Drinker. And
I'm just saying you're retarded, and you
I mean, I'm retarded. I understand that, but
let me just bring a couple more here. Blue Collar Loser. I've heard of this guy. Cheesy film, but you're a choir boy compared to me.
Choir boy.
Yeah. Well, this
fucking free on YouTube.
Oh wow! Sure.
Hold on, I'll. There you go, fat fucking.
And it's not in Russian or something.
No. I mean, YouTube. If it was in Russian, that'd be weird.
Nathan Cassidy says, "Well, this is one of the most forgettable movies I've ever watched. The line "Lord, give me strength" has gotten me through a lot of tough times."
Lord, give me strength.
Well, I hope it's helped you, man. Yeah, could the scene with the priest strung from the ceiling also reference Exorcist 3? Yeah,
we did that
talked about it. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. I'm an avid goddess of victory. Nike, they just recently revealed that there's a Vatican conspiracy going on in that game's plot. The Vatican seems to go well with conspiracies. Well, of course it does. I mean, it lends itself perfectly to that sort of thing.
2,000 years of secrets. Come on.
Yeah. Maybe he should have been an ex-firefighter instead of an ex-cop. Then Collateral Damage would have been a prequel. It could have done actually. Yeah.
It is weird that the like there is some you could connect this character to multiple Arnold characters.
Speaking of older movies, any views on The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance? Liberty Valance might be my favorite of all time. Also recommend Sean Connery in The Hill. Nice. So I saw The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance like 30 years ago, probably when I was a kid. Haven't seen it since then. DarkHour is just doing shots because fuck it.
I mean, there's like 15 minutes left in the stream.
Yeah. So yeah, I need to rewatch it to give you a proper take on it. But yeah, superb movie. Yeah. So well, if you'd allow a suggestion, I think people miss a lot of miss lots of details in Minority Report, and it could do with an EFAP. Did it deserve the hype? I liked Minority Report. If I rewatched it, I don't know if I'd pick a million holes in it, but I liked it at the time for sure.
I picked the right people the right person, I should say, to suggest it to Mahler. So
yeah, I can make that happen. Doing something for old movies might well be very useful. I've never seen Casablanca. I don't know why I should. Same with The Godfather. So why not? Well, maybe a happy hour on it. That could work. You might review Casablanca as a propaganda film and contrast it to other more recent attempts. Ooh,
people really want you to talk about Casablanca.
I know they did. Let's talk about high benchmark, honestly. Peter Stormare in Constantine, Peak Satan. Yeah, he did a fucking good job there. People always point to him.
Didn't they announce a Constantine 2 like relatively recently and it's not gone anywhere?
Yes. And as far as I know, yeah, you're exactly right. It's not gone anywhere. Yeah, what's the last great Arnie movie in your opinion?
True Lies.
Yeah, I think it probably is, by the way.
There's some decent ones, like what was the Escape Plan? I think it was called, where it was him and Stallone in the prison. That wasn't terrible. It wasn't a great movie. It was completely passable. Collateral Damage is okay. You and me did.
Pretty
it's
forgettable.
Okay. You and me did Sixth Day. That was okay. Eraser's also not terrible.
But yeah, I think probably True Lies is the last really good Arnold movie where you can point to it and say, yeah, that's a good film.
Well, some people are saying Expendables. That's
an ensemble. That's not an Arnold.
Well, that's what
movie.
I said. Like, my standard is unless the person's name is on the top of the bill, it doesn't count as a Arnold film or a Stallone film. If it's like,
it's same like when he was in Batman and Robin. Like, even if that had been an amazing movie, it wasn't an Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. It was a George Clooney movie.
Exactly.
So like it wouldn't really count. So yeah, probably True Lies, and that's sad because that's 30 years ago, more than 30 years ago.
Jingle All the Way. Somebody said, "Don't come back in December." I'm gonna force Drinker to do Jingle All the Way. I fucking love that movie.
It is a lot of fun, actually. Yeah. I know my way, box.
I'll just annoy the shit. I have like 9 ways to get the Drinker at this point. I'm just gonna annoy him on all of them until he does all these movies.
Yeah. The greatest trick the devil fucking hell.
Devil ever pulled was
the devil ever pulled was letting Will Smith win a fucking Oscar. I wish they just gave him a noisy cricket from Mission Impossible.
What is with the Will Smith references? What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, Drinker, what is your Razzie contenders for 2025? So, Ice Cube for War of the Worlds. Fuck.
Snow White for movie of the year.
Yeah, Gal Gadot for Snow White, and then probably what's that fucking Mark Ruffalo for Mickey 17.
Dude, Mark Ruffalo is as years go on, he's just worse and worse. I was okay with him for years, and then all of a sudden he's just become the worst annoying person.
Yeah. Yeah, I was much like you. I was pretty ambivalent towards him for a long time, and then the past few years, what an absolute cunt of a man. Just cannot stand him. Every time he opens his fucking fat rubbery mouth at some award ceremony, whatever, it's always to spout some political bullshit. I cannot stand him. Yeah. Have you seen The Prophecy? Christopher Walken as the angel Gabriel. Viggo Mortensen plays Lucifer.
great. That is one of the most underrated movies of all time, in my opinion. Like, no one's ever heard of it.
Yeah. I've seen Christopher Walken in another movie where he plays the devil.
So, no. Christopher Walken plays the Angel of Death. Viggo Mortensen plays Lucifer.
So I have seen The Prophecy then.
And then there
Christopher
was like
Walken,
two sequels, which made no sense because he dies at the end. It's weird.
So yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. Like, he wants to harvest a soul that's been like bound up in a little girl. It's like the soul of like some general in the U.S. Army or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I have
and
seen
then
that,
and then at the very end, Viggo Mortensen shows up and kills him. It's like really random. Like, Viggo Mortensen is not in the movie up to that point.
Yeah. No, I like that one. I did.
It was a good movie. It was a solid movie. I remember that. Then the second and third one are fucking terrible.
Never watched them.
You shouldn't.
Just like in True Lies, this movie also would have benefited from an oil wrestling match featuring Tia Carrera and Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah, I could definitely get behind that one.
From the 90s or now?
No, 90s.
Okay.
Tia Carrera was fucking smoking.
Honestly, I was more of a Jamie Lee Curtis guy. I'm not gonna lie. Like, before she became really weird and had artwork that was questionable on her wall, I was all about Jamie Lee Curtis. So
I mean, she was built.
Yeah,
she was built very statuesque. And yeah, even in True Lies, like she worked her ass off to get in shape for that
I'll never forget her falling over in the scene, and it was completely unscripted, and Arnold just plays it off. It's just like,
yeah. Well, Arnold fucking didn't he drop the tape recorder as well?
Yes, he did. He dropped the tape almost. So basically, they did one take of that scene, and whatever went wrong went wrong.
I love it. Yeah,
I am a boob guy. Somebody said it in the chat. I am a boob guy, but so is Drinker.
Hey,
so
same here. Yeah. If you had to choose between boobs and ass, like I go for boobs every day. Yeah, this was my first Arnold movie. Seeing it way too young, thanks to my dad. Nice.
Standard.
Fun stream. Good to see DarkHour. Thanks, Drinker. Always a pleasure to have him on. Yeah, just to be clear, born in NYC, raised there, and the one place that sucks mostly ass, that Jersey. I think my heart lives in Texas. I think this film was the drop-off of Arnold's career. True Lies was the apex.
Look, I'm going to say this right now. We're allowed to say that. As Jersey, we're allowed to say that. Fuck off, New York.
The Rock's biggest mistake was not continuing with the Rundown franchise with Sean William Scott. There's a name I haven't heard in a while.
Stifler.
Yeah. When you said I hate New Jersey, it made me think of the guy who said Birmingham is a shithole. Birmingham is a shithole.
So to jump on what I just said, I'm allowed to say that New Jersey sucks. It's a fucking shithole. Camden is the worst part of New Jersey. No one else is allowed to say that.
You got to be from there. Arnie film run, the 6th day. Much love, fellas. We should cover the 6th day at some point.
We did.
Did we?
You were on my channel.
Nah, I don't believe you.
You were, and you had this whole thing.
DarkHour. Look, you're getting hysterical again.
I'm gonna fucking link it. Hold on.
I believe you, actually.
Holy shit! I just typed some weird shit on my.
Yeah. Anyway, if you want to review something terrible but fun, check out Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man. I've made a review and you'd love it. Guns and Babes. Well, who doesn't like that? Yeah. Drinker, though you reviewed it a few years ago, may I suggest a happy hour for a masterpiece of 80s buddy cop slop, Tango and Cash. Stallone, Kurt Russell, Jack motherfucking Palance, 25-year-old Terry Hatcher. Yeah, it's good. I feel like I should bring Space Ice in for that one.
Agreed.
I think we can make that one work. Yeah, don't fret. It's better to have the physical copy. It always is, yeah. Your next movie should be The Order with Jean-Claude Van Damme, who plays a playboy archaeologist solving the murder of his friend, who is played by Charlton Heston. What the fuck? Never seen that one.
I'm still scrolling down here to try and find when we did 6th day.
You know it didn't happen.
I know it happened.
Stop trying to gaslight me, DarkHour.
It was here. I swear. I found Mahler and fucking Bullshit. 6th day. It's got to be here.
Let me just do this. Will you review Heated Rivalry? My feed is flooded. What is that? I don't know. Never Drink and read Drinker and DarkHour. Well, you know, we have to do it. We have to read.
I don't even know what that means.
It means like don't try and read out super chats when you're pissed as a fart. I mean,
I'm telling you, we bring out the worst in each other.
Yeah,
and we're not even close. We're not even physically close to each other. Like that's the crazy part.
And Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah, am I right, lads?
Found it.
You're right,
here
lads.
you are. Hold on. I'm dropping the link. Hold on. Where's the shareable link?
I believe you. I do believe
you. Didn't believe me. Fuck off.
I thought I didn't, but now that you've got the link, I do.
I can't type. There you go. Comment failed to post because critical. Fuck you.
It's not real.
It's not real. Melvin, please drop that link.
It's fine. We believe you. And like, you know what? I've got vague memories of doing that with you. But there's plenty of other like Arnie movies out there that we haven't covered. And I think that's the important thing to take from this.
We're going to. I will force you.
He who isn't a boob man is a penis man. Exactly. Love for boobs has no frontiers. Exactly. Yeah. It's a universal.
Even
truth,
gay
man.
guys love boobs.
Yeah, it's just part of the human condition. Like you can't help but like them. Anyway, I'm probably going to finish up there because this has been going actually almost as long as we do with like Open Bar. But like this is what it takes to cover this movie. It's that important. The end of days. DarkHour. How are you feeling at this point in the proceedings?
Drunk as fuck.
Excellent.
I mean, it's not too much, but remember this is a leader and it's down to here. So
yeah, you know what? I don't want to say pussy, but like it's kind of the word that comes to mind at this point.
Dude, you drink for a living. It's like, be kind with me, okay? This is the only time I drink.
But I think we did it. We successfully covered, you know, the end of days. I think we've given you a good rundown of it. We've given our thoughts on it. I want to see what you guys think, but we will probably finish it up right there and then because it's been an absolute pleasure hanging with you guys for a few hours tonight. It's been nice to take this little trip down memory lane to, you know, back to a different era of Hollywood filmmaking. And I kind of do miss it. But it's been definitely fun to do another happy hour. It's been a while since I've done one, and nice to get back into it. But if you are not somehow subscribed to our DarkHour already, the link to his channel is in the description. So please make use of it. Don't believe him when he says that we covered the 6th day. He's trying to gaslight me. Don't let him gaslight the drinker.
We did it, and we're gonna cover every Arnold movie ever. It's gonna happen.
Yeah. At some point.
Next is Kindergarten Cop. For sure.
But either way, it's been awesome hanging with you tonight. But that is all we've got for today. So go away now.